What's up, level uppers? Welcome to the Level Up Show, episode 129. This is a gaming dedicated talk show on every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I am one of your co-hosts, Andrew. I make the show Midori, and as you can see, I'm alone tonight. I think for the first time ever. This is probably going to be the first ever solo show of the Level Up Show. Unfortunately, both Dean and Mike are not feeling well. Mike is in the chat. I'm glad that he jumped in there, but Mike's really not feeling well. Dean's not feeling well. Just bad luck that it worked out that way. Greg might join. I'm in contact with Greg right now. See if he jumps in later on in the show. But for now, it's going to be just me. I'm going to do my best. The show must go on. We have an agenda. We have a show made, so I'm not going to just throw that away. I'm going to do the best that I can. So if you guys like what I do here at any point tonight, please make sure to follow the show. Hit that heart button at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. We will shout you out. You'll get notifications whenever we go live. Also follow us on all the other channels as well, of course. Twitter, Facebook is always important, of course, right? We don't really push our Facebook too much, but still, Facebook, Patreon, if you want to really support us, you can donate monthly there. Or you can just do singular donations at thelevelupnetwork.com/donate. We had an amazing 7-hour stream yesterday. We had $217 in donations, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. And I want to go through that a little bit right now, actually. I'm going to pull up the donations that happened yesterday on our Stream Pro here. Let me pull up the activity. Off the bat, like off the top of my head, I remember that Mel, who's in the chat right now, donated 3 times. We had Henry Dan, we had Heeds, who I think, or Hids, sorry, Hids, I was corrected earlier today. Hids donated $50, Kelly donated $41. There was somebody else who donated $52. I'm going to pull it up, because that was a great day yesterday. And really, it might get us to where we need to be for that new desktop computer. That's what we're hoping. We showed off the parts, of course. It's a beefy computer, guys. This thing is going to be special. It's going to be super special. Unfortunately, the alerts are not loading just yet. Here they go. All right. Let's see if I can get these donations to show up from yesterday. Come on. There we go. All right. So it was Chris MX, who I think is in the chat. He donated $50 saying level up. Miss Mel donated $7 for her final donation, saying, I figure I make the total a jokey number. Someone will want to fix it. Then Next Gen, below that, donated $10 saying take mo money, level up because there will be no problems to the road to new computer. Hids, as I said, donated $50 saying this is really, really nice too. He said being a poor student sucks, but hey, it's for a good cause. Keep up with the great content. That is amazing, man. To take out of your funds being a poor student and donating to us, tipping us to try and improve the show. That's really amazing. Kelly Jellyfish donated $41 at the hatred of her boyfriend, it seemed, unfortunately, but we might turn him around. Johnny fucking Poolside donated $20 saying, you need stuff, take some of this. Henry DJP with a $10 donation saying, will the new computer be capable of playing Pong or Tetris? JK, so proud to see the show grow into a success. I'm always proud of you guys. Mel with her second donation saying, bronating a bronation bronates, because we were playing Broforce at the time. And before that, she donated $10 saying sub or cut. And the first donation of the day came from Derek the 9 Fox saying, with $14 saying, make it rain. Unbelievable. We would never expect it to, for you guys to donate $217. Oh wait, did we just get another donation right now? Who'd that come from? Tobes, thank you for the donation of, I think it says $23. I'm having a tough time reading it. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Tobes. You guys are crazy, man. Hold on a sec. I got to pull it up. I couldn't see closely. It was 23. He wanted to bring it up to 240. Thank you so much, Tobes. Really appreciate it, man. And Greg says he'll be there soon. He's on his way, so we will get Greg on the show today. So that's cool. At least we'll have Greg here. All right. So thank you, Tobes. During commercial break or something, since I'm by myself, I'm not going to do it right now, but because of commercial break, I will I'll give out XP to all those people that did donate yesterday and today as well, Tobes. So we're up to, yeah, Miss Mel says number fixed. It's true, number fixed. All right, so I guess I'll get started with what I've been playing. You guys might have seen it earlier today. I streamed Inside. That's from Playdead. They're the guys who made Limbo. And I liked Limbo a lot. Limbo was a cool game. A really cool game, actually. Once it came to PS3, I got around to playing that one. But Inside so far is going beyond that for sure. It's a much grander in scale game. It just has more to it. It seems more ambitious. Even though it's still a side scroller, it still only has a few buttons to control. You got grab, run, and jump, and that's it. There's something special about the game right off the bat. I have a 15-minute Let's Play that's going to be going up on our YouTube on Tuesday, and then I'll upload the Level Up live plays on Thursday, and that's probably going to be a two-parter because I got about halfway through the game today. It freaked me out, man. Right off the bat, I was unsettled because of the atmosphere. It's very dystopian, very ominous, and you're dropped into this world as this young kid, and you don't know why he's being chased by these enemies with like they have the white masks, kind of similar to We Happy Few, the other game that debuted at Xbox conference this year. But just a really unsettling game, and they don't hold back at all in showing the brutality when this young boy gets killed, whether it be him being shot by gunfire, which really took me by surprise, or being mauled by a dog, or falling to his death. They just, every time, you're like, okay, they didn't cut away, they just showed it all. And they were kind of similar with Limbo as well. I think I remember with Limbo, like the spiders, like stabbing the little kid through. He might have even gotten decapitated in that game. Just, they don't mess around. Play dead. I think they're called Play Dead. So it's a really cool game. It's $20 on Xbox One and Steam right now. Check out my Let's Play on Tuesday if you're on the fence about it. But I can tell you right now, I can understand why this game is getting 90 plus on Metacritic, and some people are saying it's Game of the Year. Halfway through, I think it's a really special game, and I'm going to remember it come the end of the year when we do our Game of the Year review. Otherwise, I don't think I played much else this week. I played Final Fantasy X Remastered again, got a little further in that one, enjoying the return to Japanese RPGs, of course. I'm very excited for Ni no Kuni, very excited for Final Fantasy 15, of course. We're gonna talk about Kingsglaive a little bit later on because the reviews are finally coming out for that one. But I think we should probably get into the official non-gaming portion of the show. It's called The Level Up Show Has No Game, guys. It is 3 non-gaming topics at 2 minutes each. I'm ready. First up, I'm going to have a tough one discussing this because this is a one I threw in here for like Dean and Greg. But it turns out that Iron Man, after Tony Stark retires, which is happening in the Marvel comic books, is going to be replaced by a 15-year-old girl. And I probably should say that she's black too, since everybody seems to be focusing on that. Her name is Riri. Riri, do I have the name here? I don't have the name. I think it might be Williams or something like that. Riri is her name, and she grew up in, difficult circumstances and powered through and got to college, and it's, it's a great story, and they said that that's what represents a superhero to them now, is somebody like Riri. Of course, this is causing a big problem on the internet. People are upset that they would go this drastic with the change, and people are bringing up Captain America and how he's now a Nazi, even though I don't think that's what they're really trying to do there. I think that they're fooling everybody with that. But, I mean, if you're going to reboot a character, if you're really going to, why not just go all the way with it? It's kind of like Ghostbusters, which we'll be talking about in a moment. If you're going to reboot it, why not go all the way? Just don't hold back. Change it to the utmost degree. And we have to wait and see what this character's going to be like. She seems pretty badass to me. I like her look. I like the shirt that she's wearing there with she's got the sigil on it and whatnot. Pretty badass, in my opinion. I think people might also be focusing on the fact that she's 15 years old, but this is a comic book world. I mean, Tony Stark in the comics, he was inventing crazy shit when he was a teenager. Why not her as well? So I think we need to give these kind of things a chance. They're not going to keep it this way forever. Tony Stark retires now, like 10 issues later, he's back. That's the way comic books work. Nothing ever is set in stone. Nobody's ever truly dead. Nobody's ever truly retired. I'm curious if anybody in the chat room has anything to say. Oh, we got a new guy. It says Leafy is Ghost Coffee. I'm not sure how to say that, but welcome. Nice to have you, man. Welcome to anybody who's new. Really appreciate having you. Don't forget to follow the show. Hit that heart button at twitch.tv/levelupshow. Moving on to our second topic. Hikaru Sulu is openly gay in Star Trek Beyond. George Takei does not approve. So Star Trek Beyond comes out, I think, in 2 weeks. I think this Friday coming up is Ghostbusters, and the Friday after that is Star Trek Beyond. But here's what George Takei had to say about this. Quote, "I'm delighted that there's a gay character. Unfortunately, it's a twisting of Gene's creation to which he put in so much thought. I think it's really unfortunate. I said this movie is going to be coming out on the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, the 50th anniversary of paying tribute to Gene Roddenberry, the man whose vision who has carried us through half a century. Honor him and create a new character, I urged them. Lin left me feeling that was going to happen. Clearly, that's not what happened. Simon Pegg is one of the writers on this one, too, so he didn't listen either. I gotta say, I'm not in agreement with George Takei here. I mean, was his straightness ever, like, an integral part of the Hikaru Sulu character? I don't feel like it was. Like, he's acting like when Gene Roddenberry wrote this character, it's like, he has to be straight, so this is so integrated into his character. No, not as far as my knowledge goes. I'm not the biggest Trekkie by any means, but I feel like he's grasping at straws here. There's nothing about this character that needs to be straight. This is not like, and maybe this is not even a good example, but this is not like making James Bond gay. Like, James Bond has always been like kind of a little bit of a womanizer, so to change that character to be gay, maybe that's something to get a little bit up in arms about. But Hikaru Sulu? No, I think this actually is a cool homage to George Takei, and that's the way he should be looking at this, is that they're looking at Hikaru Sulu as George Takei. He's the one who originated this character. He's gay in real life, so let's pay him tribute by making the character gay in the newest movie. And not to make a big deal out of it either, which is, it sounds like is what they're doing. It's just going to be this open thing that happens on screen, and they're not going to make a big deal out of it. That's awesome. Last topic. Ghostbusters Reboot 2016. The review embargo has been lifted. And some of you are going to be very upset because it's not reviewing that badly. It's actually reviewing pretty well. Here are a group of reviews that I have chosen. IGN gave it a 6.9, saying, the new Ghostbusters is a fresh take on the franchise with 4 strong leads and an interesting new entry point into the series. The problems with the film come down to the movie itself, as the pacing and editing don't hold up what otherwise could have been a sharp, quick-witted re-entry into a world fans hold dear. So not the strongest review, but still overall positive, I have to say. HitFix wrote, quote, Paul Feig's Ghostbusters is above all else a real Ghostbusters movie if you're a fan of the 1984 original, as most comedy fans are. One of the things that is interesting as you watch this one is the way it echoes off of that film. It is no simple remake, but neither is it a radical reinvention of the core idea. It's simply a different riff on the same idea, with a solid dose of fan service thrown in to help make the transition from the old to the new. That review was actually an A-, so HitFix really liked it. Slash Film after that said, quote, at the end of the day, those who hoped the new Ghostbusters would be just like the original will probably be disappointed. The comedic sensibility is more Paul Feig than Ivan Reitman. The characters and their relationships to one another are completely different, and it all feels more like a 2010 blockbuster film than a 1980s comedy adventure. The New York Times, right, part of what makes Ghostbusters enjoyable is that it allows women to be as simply and uncomplicatedly funny as men, though it would have been nice if Miss Jones had been given more to do. In the end, these are Ghostbusters, not ghostbusting suffragists, even if there's plenty of feminism on screen and off. And finally, the last one is from Time Magazine, who said, quote, yet there's little that's nostalgic in the musty sense about Feig's reimagined ghost-busting universe. The movie glows with vitality thanks largely to the performers who revel in one another's company and not in a self-congratulatory Ocean's 12 style, quote, we're awesome movie stars together way. Some of their dialogue has a loose, loopy, unscripted vibe a la Bill Murray's poker face asides in the original. So overall, pretty solid reviews. Last I checked on Rotten Tomatoes, it was sitting at a 74%, definitely higher than the haters wanted it to be. If this ends up being in the 70s on Rotten Tomatoes, that's right up there with most blockbuster films, right up there with some of the Marvel films, actually. So I'm seeing it on Tuesday. I already talked with Kristen. We're going to see it on Tuesday. I'm excited. I want to see what this movie's all about. I hope that it's decent. I don't expect the best movie of the summer by any means, but I think it's going to be a fun time. Let's see what we got in chat here. Anybody have anything to say about that? Who the F thought it'd be like the original, though? Exactly, Miss Mel. Nobody did, because it's a reboot. They're paying homage. It's got a lot of those original characters as cameos, but it's its own thing. It's the Ghostbusters universe. It's going to have nostalgia and whatnot, but it's trying to be its own thing from what I can tell, and that's fine. It's the women's version of it. Give it its own thing. I think there's no problem with that. All right, let's move on to our next segment, community focus segment. It's called Community Question of the Week. Typically, Dean does this. I'll do my best. So you guys can go on our PS4 community go into the application, just search the Level Up Network. You will find us. We always post a question each week, and you guys can submit your answers, and we choose most of them to talk about. If you had to make one gameplay mechanic standard in every single video game, what would it be and why? We had several good answers to this one. First up, Tyspin responded, the quick dive from Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain. I love that mechanic. I do too. There's something just very satisfying about it in that game, in a stealth game specifically, just when you're right at that moment of being caught to quickly dive behind cover is really satisfying, but they could insert that into pretty much anything. It doesn't have to be a stealth game, so I agree with that one there, Tyspin. I know you're a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. I am too. Next up, we had Rick GFN2112 responded, some variation of a map for collectibles. A video guide on YouTube shouldn't be required. An easy way to track them down should be made available in every game that has collectible items. When I think of this, I think of like Infamous, which usually shows the collectibles on the map. I'm trying to think of a game that does not show the collectibles on the map, but I completely agree. If you're going to have collectibles, at least have a map that you can find in the game, so that you can open up the location of the collectibles. If they're not there by default, maybe that's okay, but there should be some way of making them visible on the map, if you get that. Let's see here. What do we got in the chat? I hope no one answered the community question with QTEs. Nobody did, Diclonius, I can tell you right now. And Tobe says, this personally, I don't know. I just can't, LOL. Whenever he speaks, it just makes me want to roll my eyes. This personality? I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Topes. I lost you. Sorry, man. I must have missed an earlier comment. Welcome, Super Dave. Carlos Trejo. Yes, I'm going to be talking about CSGO for topic of the week. So that's going to happen towards the last hour of the show, I want to say. But it's only me, so it's going to be tough for me to talk about that scandal by myself. I'm going to do the best I can. All right, let's keep going with community question of the week here. Next up, we had Ghost Games 81 who responded, I think co-op should be in more games, so the games should be harder in co-op. I'm not against that. I don't think that co-op should ever be forced on us. I don't want to be it to be a mandatory thing in pretty much any game that I play. You guys know I'm a single player guy for the most part. There's certain games where I'll enjoy co-op, but I never want it forced on me. But I also agree that if you're going to be doing co-op, it probably should be harder. That seems to make sense to me. So that's a good comment. Thank you, Ghost. Splitmaniac responded. He's in the chat. The money that you earned in-game can be printed from the console and become real-world money to be used in real life. I would have never have to work again and just hack people in Watch Dogs 2. Yeah. That's never going to happen. So pretty much you want to become a felon, Bryce. Is that what you're saying? It's a nice fantasy. It is, but no. I don't think you're ever going to be getting that one. That's the most unrealistic of all the responses so far. Next up, we had Delone Gunman Dustin, who said, I hate the way that new sports games, NBA, NHL, WWE, try to make gameplay more fun by making the mechanics harder, especially with younger gamers. I wish they would make a simpler or dumbed down version of the control mechanics so that young or old or even new gamers can all understand and get used to before attempting some of these games. That seems like a pretty good idea that I think some games have implemented. I don't know. I could be wrong there. But I feel like some games have tried to do that before where you have a very dumbed down version. Oh, you know what it is? I think like Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls have a very dumbed down version of the gameplay. Not that the game's already not dumbed down enough. I mean, it's pretty simple with QTEs throughout the entire thing. But, I mean, you can make it even simpler in Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls where you're pretty much just pressing buttons as opposed to like doing like the joystick stuff. So there's some games that do it, but I could understand wanting sports games to also do it as well. Let's see if we have any others here. I think there's a few more comments. Next up, we had Skydiver55, who responded, there should be a trophy for people that rage quit, lol, or a mark of shame, lol. That's actually not a bad idea. I don't think a lot of games would do it, but it would be a funny, clever thing for games that like have a lot of rage quitters, just to be able to seek them out and be like, you're a rage quitter because you have this trophy. I like that idea, Skydiver. I think some games should do that. A lot of fighting games should do that. Big Gamer 999 responded, the crafting mechanics in The Last of Us, the need to heal or craft a weapon without being able to pause the game makes it more grounded and immersive because every second matters when you're being surrounded. That worked so well in The Last of Us. It really was catered to that kind of game, survival, horror, survival action. I don't think it's something that could work well in every game. Or I shouldn't say that. It could work well just fine if it's implemented in the right way. That's one that I don't think is needed in every game. I feel like that's kind of an RPG type mechanic. We've got a donation from Mr. Rager Tyler. Thank you so much, man. You guys are going nuts. We had a $23 donation from Tobes, and we had a $10 donation from Tyler. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate the support. You guys are amazing. You really are. I think we have one or two more comments here. Let's keep going on. We had a lot of comments on this question this week. Thank you so much, guys, for utilizing our community. GameKiller305 responded, I would like to see some sort of climbing mechanic in every game so that you can have a little bit more freedom in where you want to go. This has been a source of discontention with Final Fantasy 15 because they recently announced in the last month or so that there are no way to climb the environment. Now, there is the sword, the warp strike, so you can warp to the locations that they chose for you, but you can't just go around climbing every rock. So, I mean, it would be nice, but it's not realistic. I like the idea. Like, it would be so cool if you could go everywhere. You know how, like, whenever they reveal games, Destiny and whatnot, they're like, see that mountain in the distance? You can go there. They do that as, like, a PR stunt, but it's almost never true. If it actually were true that you could climb everything and go everywhere, that would change gaming. I mean, that would be nuts. The end of invisible walls, but it's kind of a fantasy. It's a nice fantasy to have, though. Thank you, Game Killer, for your response. The final response came from FailureFan86, who said, I believe every game would benefit from having a distraction mechanic. The ability to distract enemies either to you or away from you would be hella beneficial. Yeah, well, again, that kind of calls back to The Last of Us for me, and Metal Gear Solid. The Last of Us with the bottles, and Metal Gear Solid, of course, in multiple ways, whether you be clicking your mechanical arm. One that I thought really could have used it that didn't have it was Uncharted, and that came after The Last of Us, so it really didn't make sense to me that when you were going through those stealth moments as Nathan Drake, you didn't have the option to knock on the wall to try and bring people towards you, or to take even like a rock off the ground and just throw it somewhere so you could get the enemies to move away from you. That did seem like a missed opportunity for me personally with that game, especially coming after The Last of Us. It was, they already had that mechanic built, so they could have easily implemented it. And maybe they did at one point and they decided to remove it later on just because maybe it broke the stealth moments, maybe it made it too easy. It's hard to say for sure. We just got our second follow of the night. Thank you to Rio Garavera, I want to say. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. And we also had a follow before the show even started from the Vampire Games. Thank you to those 2 follows so far. Keep them coming, guys. We have a current follow goal of 8,025. If we get there, we'll give out 1,000 XP to the entire chat room. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give out 1,000 XP right now, because I don't think I ever gave out XP when you guys got us to 8,000. So, you know what? Here you go. 1,000 XP to the entire room. You guys are awesome. We love you all. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the donations. Really blowing us away lately with the support, whether it be through donations or Patreon or subbing. We got 18 subs right now. We're just 2 away from our sub goal. We're getting closer and closer to those new emojis, guys. And also, we might be getting into that cheering beta pretty soon. I got an email today, so we might open that up to you guys. Vantera, Joey is here. Welcome, man. It's nice to have you. It feels like it's been a while. We got Legend Dark Wolf, we got DePonch, Buddy Doze, Miss Mel, Henry DJP, Guitar Freak, Strafe Girl, Miss Mel, Carlos Trejo. Got a lot of people in the room. We got over 50, which is great, especially for a solo show tonight. I'm happy you guys are sticking with me. I'm going to do my best here to have the show go on. But for right now, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back with the level update. So hold on tight. Henry DJP will be back in approximately 60 seconds. Welcome back, Level Uppers, to the Level Up Show, episode 129. This is a gaming dedicated talk show on every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. If you like what we're doing at any point, please make sure to follow the show like Undertale's girl just did. Thank you so much for the follow. That's the 3rd of the night. We also had Rio and the Vampire Games. Keep them coming. Let's see if we can get to 8,025 follows, and I'll give out more XP to the entire chat room, and we'll do a little dance for you as well, of course, or I'll do a little dance for you since it's a solo show tonight. And don't forget to check us out on all the other channels. else, guys. They'll be bannered across the screen at multiple points. You got Twitter at the Level Up Network, level spelled LVL. We're very active there. Follow us. You got YouTube at youtube.com/the Level Up Network. We're going to be having our Let's Play of Inside going up this Tuesday. I don't think there's going to be a power up tomorrow because I think that Dean's computer is actually not working, unfortunately. But they'll keep you informed on that, I'm sure. Maybe we can tweet out tomorrow if that's not going to happen. But I don't think there's going to be a power up tomorrow. But there will be reruns tomorrow night. I'm definitely going to be doing a rerun tomorrow night because Dustin, the lone gunman who's in the chat, he's doing something really cool for us. He made a sign of the Level Up Network, big, huge sign with both of our URLs for Twitch and YouTube on there. And he's going to WWE Raw, and he's going to be like almost front row, and he's going to be holding up the sign the entire show. So there's a good chance that you might see the Level Up Network sign on WWE Raw tomorrow night. So that's amazing. Thank you so much, Dustin. That's such a cool idea, and that might really work out well for us. We'll have to wait and see. I hope it does. Undertale's Girl says, what is XP? XP is our loyalty system. Experience points. So for every minute that you watch our shows live, you get 1 XP. Or you might get XP from following, you might get XP from subbing, you might get XP from donating, you might get XP from bank heists. There's multiple ways to get it. So it's a way to keep track of your loyalty, and it's kind of like a bragging right. I guess you could say if you're in the top, it means you've been with us for a long time, that you're one of our best viewers. But it also is a way to take part in raffles. When we do raffles, like for a PSN card giveaway or whatnot, you buy raffle tickets using XP. So the more XP you have, the more raffle tickets you can buy, the better chance you have at winning said PSN card. So that's another use for the raffle tickets that you guys have. Thank you to the host. I missed it. It went off screen really quickly, but thank you so much for hosting. Split Maniac says, Drew, will there be any more Level Up Direct? Not consistently, Bryce. There might be random Level Up Directs on Saturdays when I have the time, but they will never be on Thursday anymore. At least not for the foreseeable future. I think we've talked about it before, but Kristen is home during the weekdays with the baby, and she works during the weekend. So since she's home all day with the baby, I'm not going to stream at night. Like, come home after she just spent the whole day with Evie and then like go down in the basement and leave her by herself. That's not going to happen. So that's why I'm no longer streaming during the weekdays. But since she's going to work on the weekends, that leaves me time potentially to do stuff on the weekends. That's why you saw me stream Inside. That's why we did a 6-hour marathon yesterday. It's because I have more time on the weekends potentially if Evie is asleep. So that's why you might get a Level Up Direct. If Evie is behaving and I feel like I've got like an hour and a half to throw a stream in there, you might see a random Level Up Direct, but it's not going to be a scheduled thing. It's going to be like, keep an eye on our Twitter. Guys, I'm going live with Level Up Direct in 5 minutes. Join me. So it's going to be up to you guys to keep track of our Twitter and try and jump in at the right time. But you're going to see a lot more game streaming from me. You saw Final Fantasy X Remastered. You saw Inside. I'm going to continue doing Inside. I'll do No Man's Sky when that comes out. I'm going to do as much as I can. Another thing I want to bring up, TX Puck just posted in the chat, NeoGAF. It's a really great forum, if you guys don't know. Probably the best, actually, forum on the internet for gaming. It has a lot of really hardcore gamers on there and also industry professionals from the gaming industry. All chat on there. A lot of great topics. You should try to join. It's not that easy. It might take you a day. It might take you 6 months. They have a whole system for allowing people in the NeoGAF. But if you get in, as you saw from TX Puck, we now have an official topic on there thanks to NetGuy, one of our viewers. He created a very nice topic, very kind and sweet topic. Talks very kindly of us. And you can go in there, you can talk about anything Level Up Network related or anything gaming related. It doesn't matter. It's just a way for the community to get together and talk about gaming. But if you want to give feedback on our shows or talk about something that happened in the show or share clips that you enjoyed from our shows, you can do it all on that NeoGAF topic once you get in. I know that like just 1 or 2 people are actually members there. Some are trying to get in. I really, really encourage that you guys try and get in there since it is such a great site and that we need you to be active in that topic before it dies, because slowly but surely it's dropping back in the pages and eventually it might just go away entirely if you guys don't post in there. And I can't post anymore. You can't do a double post or you get banned. So it's up to you guys to become members of NeoGAF and post on that NeoGAF topic. All right, moving on, we're going to get into the level update. This is our weekly discussion of the week's biggest gaming industry news. I'm waiting for that Patreon thing to go away. Miss Mel is trying. That's great, Miss Mel. I'm glad. All right, first up today, Project Scorpio will likely have a trade-in program. This is great news, not just for Xbox. This is probably great news for PS4 and PS4 Neo because they're likely going to copy Xbox if they do this. But Tweaktown writes, Microsoft wants to make the transition from Xbox One to Project Scorpio as seamless and easy as possible with a new trade-in trade-up program. With 6 teraflops of performance and a semi-custom Polaris plus Zen AMD SoC to enable 4K gaming, Microsoft's new, quote, monster Project Scorpio isn't expected to be cheap. This is speculation here, but this guy says it'll likely be in the $599 range. I really hope that's not true. I think $499 is max that should go. They should try to match Xbox One's launch price, but really they should be shooting for $399 because they saw that $499 did not do well for them with the Xbox One. Luckily, Microsoft wants to offer an Xbox One trade-in program to shave off some of the cost and make Project Scorpio more accessible. Quote, we want to make that transition as smooth as possible, says Xbox Services Manager Dave McCarthy to the Daily Star. Continuing on, he said, some of our retail partners today do trade-in programs, and that's definitely going to be partnerships we continue to do moving forward. We'll try partnerships with our retail partners to smooth it even more with trade-in programs and things like that. Bear in mind, we have no clue how much the Scorpio actually costs and how much Microsoft will give you for your Xbox One. Right now, vanilla 500GB Xbox One console gets you $100 in GameStop store credit or $80 in cash, but we might see special promos closer to Project Scorpio's holiday 2017 launch. I hope so. $100 isn't a lot. Also, remember that Project Scorpio shares the Xbox One's game library and plays all existing Xbox One games, so your entire collection isn't completely useless after you trade in your system. This, of course, video here is from E3. This is when they announced Project Scorpio for the first time. I'm going to put a poll in the chat for you guys, unless Mike did it already. Mike, are you in the chat? And could you please... He is in the chat. Mike, could you start posting the polls in the chat for me since you are in there? I was going to do it myself, but since you're available, please do that for me. So we're going to ask you guys a question here. How much money do you think you will get for trading in the OG Xbox One? Not the Xbox One S. How much do you think you would get for the OG Xbox One if they do a special promo? Do you think you're going to get $0 to $100? Do you think you're going to get $101 to $150, $151 to $200, or $201 plus? Let us know in the poll that Mike will be posting shortly. Not sure if he did that or not. It'll probably take him a moment since there's a delay here. But let us know in the poll once it's posted in there, guys. I'm very curious how much you think we'll be getting for Xbox One. And also, let me know in the chat if you think the PS4 Neo will be doing a special trade-in program. I hope so. I really hope so. But that's great news. I mean, for me, I'm probably going to lean towards doing PlayStation VR this holiday. If I had to choose between PlayStation Neo and PlayStation VR, I'm going to do PlayStation VR. Because I actually tried PlayStation VR for the first time this weekend. I went over to Best Buy, and we're going to be putting up a video on our YouTube. Kristen and I both tried it, and we took video of it. And I was really blown away. I played 2 demos. I played the Shark one, I think it's called Into the Deep, and I also played the... Eve Valkyrie demos. Now, the one that actually really surprised me was the Shark one. Because I'm more into experiences when it comes to VR. That's what attracts me, is something that's like really designed and catered entirely to VR. Like, that's what it's made for. And that's what the Shark demo is. It's an experience made for VR. Now, when I got that headset on me, and the first time it starts sinking down, like, I got butterflies in my stomach. And it works so well, too, because since you're going down into the sea, like... It's like you have goggles on, so the VR headset makes perfect sense. It feels like you have goggles on. Another donation. Oh my God. What is happening? Thank you to a $50 donation from Your Average Psych. I think we might be at the goal now. Are we at $300? Holy shit, dude. You guys are nuts. You guys are nuts. I have to do a dance for that one. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all the support. It's dance time.
We level up.
Thank you so much, Your Average Psych, for the donation. You are amazing. Let me see if you left any message. He did. He said... Oh, no, sorry, there is no message. I thought there was a message there for a second. But that's a $50 donation today from Your Average Psych. We also had a $10 donation from Tyler and a $23 donation from Tobes. That totals $83. That brings us to $300. We are there. This PC is happening, guys. That's amazing. Thank you so much to everybody who has supported us. And just to let you know, since we're now at our goal, we talked about this on our 7-hour stream, but the next level is a studio camera. Right now we're streaming from a Logitech 930E, the best web camera you can buy. It's actually meant for this kind of thing. That's why it's got a wide angle lens. But still, you can see it's kind of snowy because we're really far away from the camera. We want a true 1080p, 60 frames per second studio camera, totally clear. And when we have that new computer and it runs on it, there's going to be no delay. It's going to be snappy. It's going to be quick. It's going to be awesome. So that's going to be our next goal, but we have to start looking into cameras and decide which one we want. Then we'll update our donation goal, and you guys can start helping us towards that one if you want to. Of course, don't feel obligated to donate in any way. We love that you're here. We appreciate every single one of you. You're all amazing. We love every level upper. All right, where was I? So I was talking about Into the Deep. So it gave me goosebumps right off the bat, right? So I'm going down, and I was fooled. I really was fooled into thinking that I was there. At one point, I looked to my right, and there's a little like display that controls the lift that you're in, and I put my hand out to go touch it. And it freaked me out because my hand wasn't there. Like, that's how fooled I was. I was so fooled that I actually reached to try and touch a display in there. And another moment, the shark starts to tear away from the thing, and it breaks through the fence in front of you and gets dangerously close to your feet. Like, if your feet was there, it probably would grab your feet. So I instinctively went like this and like backed my feet up. Like, that's crazy that it did that. Like, it fooled me. It truly fooled me into thinking I was there. That is all I needed to see. Like, if it could do that, that means it works. That means that this is the next thing. Like, I really do feel like this is the next thing if they can build the right experiences around it. TXPOC says, Drew, did you experience any discomfort, like nausea or any of the other stuff people have documented? Not at all. I played the entire demo of the shark for like 20 minutes, and I did Valkyrie for like 10-15 minutes after that. So I was in this thing for like 35 minutes total. Not even a little bit of nausea whatsoever. Now, here is my one con. I don't want to go through this being entirely positive and fool you guys. There is a big con to this thing. The resolution is not high enough. And that's just the way it is right now. The tech isn't there yet. If they were to put the resolution necessary to not have any blurriness, this thing would cost $1,000. And they don't want to do that. They want to reach mass market appeal. Now, you have the option to pull the headset away from your face and in and out, and that helps to focus it a little bit. And I didn't want to take up too much of the guy's time by adjusting it over and over again, so I might have been able to get it a little bit better, but it's blurry. Now, that doesn't mean the graphics are bad. The graphics are actually really good. I was really surprised at how great the shark looked and all that. I was immersed in the experience, but it's blurry. It's like you're looking through cellophane or something like that. The graphics behind that cellophane are very attractive. They're like high-end PS3 graphics, but it's very blurry. So that was my big disappointment. It did take me out of the experience a little bit, the blurriness of it all. But maybe I can get it better. Like, maybe it wasn't as good as I'll be able to get it when I actually have it on my head at home here, and I could take the time to adjust it accordingly. It's all about like the angle with your eyes and how far away it is from your eyes, and everybody's different. For instance, Kristen was pulling it as far into her face as possible to get focus, and I was pulling it away. For some reason, the further away it was from my eyes, the better focus I had and the more clarity. So you want to keep that in mind. It's only a 1080p screen for both eyes. It's not like they did a 1080p screen each for the individual eyes. They share the 1080p screen. So that's why there's a little bit of blurriness there. Strife Girl says, do you guys think the price of PSVR is too high? No, personally, I don't. Of course, I would have liked it to be lower. Why not? I mean, I think $300 would have been the sweet spot. But it's the cheapest of the VR stuff at $400 without the Move, without the camera. I'm in good shape. I have 2 PlayStation Move controllers. I have a PlayStation camera. So I don't have to worry about those expenses. Guys that do have to worry about that, maybe. Okay, I can understand $500 might seem a little bit steep. Now, if they can get a bundle out with No Man's Sky for $400 this holiday, I think that's going to be the killer app. Like, that's going to do it. If they can get that in there, basically making the price $340 because it has No Man's Sky in every box, I think they've got a winner on their hands. And honestly, to have this in Best Buy and have people walking by, you'll see Kristen's reaction on the video that we uploaded this week. Kristen freaked out. Like, her reaction is so much better than mine. She was freaking out about this thing and totally immersed and scared, and you have to watch. It's hilarious. And you can see people walking by and laughing and watching. It's one of those things. It's kind of like when Kinect first came out and it was at the Best Buy and people were stopping to watch or stopping to take part, and people were doing like dance marathons in Best Buy. That's kind of what we got going on with this PlayStation VR right now. Come holiday season, when people are really going in and out of Best Buy and GameStop and whatnot, you're going to see a lot of people putting on this headset and being like, this is crazy technology. And I think it's going to do really well for them. I think it's going to sell out whatever they have this holiday. Whatever they are able to manufacture, I think they will sell out. All right, so that was a long time on that story. All right, next up. Oh, wait, let me do the poll results. Since that was such a long story, I'll do the poll results. Exclamation point, poll results. Here's what you guys had to say about the price of the Xbox One when you traded in. It looks like we had 8 votes for 151 to 200, 1 vote for 101 to 150, 3 votes for 0 to 100. Nobody thinks it'll be above 200. Greg is calling me right now, so I'm going to take Greg in. Gregory!
Joseph!
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Hold on one sec. Let me bring you in here.
Sorry,
hey, buddy, you're here.
Hi, I got into traffic on the way home from work, but I finally made it home.
Nice to have you, man.
Yes.
You're not going to be a part of like the level update screen and whatnot just because I changed it to be solo me, but you'll be a part of any other scene.
You're good.
So we were just talking about Xbox One actually having a trade-in program, supposedly.
Ooh, that's kind of lit.
Yeah, now do you think that if Xbox One has a trade-in program that PS4 Neo will copy them?
I want to say that PlayStation probably already has something already in the works, so now it's probably going to seem like Sony's copying them. But I would imagine that they already thought of a trade-in program.
Right, I agree. I'm saying copy
you know
just because, the information came out first about Xbox One.
First
but
with
I
Microsoft,
agree. I feel
yeah.
like if Xbox is or Microsoft is thinking about a trade-in program, I'm sure Sony is as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we're going to find out sooner when it comes to Sony, because PS4 Neo, as far as we know, is this holiday, and Scorpio is next holiday.
Yeah.
So.
Still think Microsoft shot themselves in the foot by their console announcements at E3, personally.
Yeah, I think from a business standpoint, it wasn't a good move.
Yeah, I completely agree with
From
that.
a consumer standpoint, it's actually a great move for us, because
Yes.
that means they're being transparent, and now we get to decide if we want to go with the Xbox One S or the Scorpio, now that we know both are coming.
Which is a little backwards, only because E3 is originally supposed to be for business.
Right,
and, like, the
it's supposed to be
stock,
for
right?
business.
You know what I
agree,
mean?
you're
Yeah.
right.
So a little bit backwards, but yeah, I mean, good for the consumer. I'm not the big Xbox guy. I don't know if I've mentioned that here on the show, but yeah, no, that's pretty awesome. That they have a trade-in program. I read a little bit about it because I know we were talking about it throughout the week. But other than that, I didn't read up on the full story, so I'm catching up.
Now, I polled the chat about what they thought we would get for the trade-in, and most people said $151 to $200 when they traded an OG Xbox One. What do you think?
I would say 100 to 150. I don't
100
think
to 150.
I don't think they would do 200. GameStop usually runs that same promotion for like the PS3 to the PS4. They usually do $100, so I think Microsoft would want to overcut GameStop, so that way GameStop doesn't profit from the trade-in program. So I'm assuming they would do like 150. That'll be like you would assume half of the console price, right?
That's a fair prediction. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be like 150, maybe like 175.
Oh, now you're getting crazy, Joe.
Yeah, I'm getting crazy. We have 75 people in the room.
Just jumped to 80, actually. I was just going to mention that.
Wow, that's amazing. You guys are
Hi,
awesome. Thank you for the support. We got Greg on the line now, my brother, my teammate, joining me for the rest of the show here. If you like what we're doing at any point, hit that heart button at twitch.tv/levelupshow. We will shout you out. You'll get notifications whenever we go live, which is all week long, typically, with gaming talk shows and game streams. We're about to move on to the second story of the first level updates. Greg, why don't you take this one? We'll flip back and forth.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Xbox One users have spent 100 million hours on backwards compatibility. That is shocking. Attack of the Fanboy writes, the reception of Microsoft's backwards compatibility program that allowed people to play Xbox 360 games on their Xbox One was very positive, as it meant that people wouldn't have to juggle between two systems as much when they wanted to play some older games. However, it looks like people have been spending an awful lot of time playing those older games, with Microsoft releasing these official numbers. Here's what Microsoft said regarding the popularity of the backwards compatibility program. Quote, in addition to all the new games coming, we're committed to helping carry your favorite games from your Xbox 360 library forward as well. Your response to the Xbox One backwards compatibility has been overwhelming to date. Gamers have spent more than 100 million total hours playing backwards compatible titles on the Xbox One. We recently added Call of Duty Black Ops, XCOM, Enemy Within, and Portal 2 to the growing library of backwards compatible games, now totaling 209 titles with many more on the way. End quote. Microsoft was able to make a lot of progress with the amount of Xbox 360 games becoming playable on the Xbox One, and with Red Dead Redemption just being announced for the program and its sales skyrocketing as a result, it will definitely only broaden its scope from here. Since Microsoft announced Red Dead Redemption would be arriving on the Xbox One via backwards compatibility, both the original game and the Game of the Year edition have made impressive sales rank jumps on Amazon. As of 11:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, on July 5th of 2016, the original game has jumped from 595 to 40, and the Game of the Year edition has jumped from 1,628 to 32. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Wow.
Not surprising. Red Dead is an amazing game. One of my favorite games of last generation, and one that I'm so excited to see the sequel for. And we know it's coming. It's going to come at some point.
That makes so much sense why I was seeing all of IGN's site like put up like, oh, collectibles in Red Dead Redemption and like the review of Red Dead Redemption. I was like, why are they doing that? But that makes so much more sense now.
Everybody's jumping back in. They're getting hyped, and I feel like the reason that it went to backwards compatibility is because they're gearing up. They're getting us ready.
Oh, you would imagine.
They gotta be.
Yeah, you have. Honest to God, if that doesn't happen, I would just be sick to my stomach.
I'll be super disappointed.
When it comes to Rockstar, though, they usually do their own announcements, so I don't think we'll see it. Like everyone was so disappointed that I wasn't at E3, but like they never usually do that. Rockstar's usually like in the middle of like September, like, oh, by the way, guys, here's GTA 5, and then they release it in the next year. So I'm assuming
there were rumors that it was planned to be the closer of the show, and because of a certain saloon scene and the shooting that happened I think in Orlando, that they decided to scrap it at being the closer, and instead they split up Days Gone into two segments, a trailer and then a gameplay segment. Rockstar came out and said that's false, but of course they're going to say that. Do you think there's any truth to that?
No, I wouldn't imagine. I don't think so. I feel like those are two totally separate entities, unless the main character you're playing as is gay and lives in Florida. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's just such a random thing. I feel like that's a random ass rumor, to be honest with you. I don't think there's any truth
I think people just so badly wanted it to be there that they were willing to come up with anything.
It's kind of like when you're missing like two puzzle pieces when you're trying to complete a puzzle, so you try to make one fit in like that last spot.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that.
We got a lot of Xbox One stories tonight. Continuing on, Microsoft claims Play Everywhere applies to all first-party titles, and then backtracks that statement just days later. Videogamer.com writes, pregnant pause, Microsoft has altered its statement on its policy for Xbox One Play Anywhere titles, suggesting that not all future Microsoft Studios games will be playable across both PC and Xbox, as originally stated. In the original statement, viewable on Wayback Machine, which is a website where you can look at archives of websites, Yusuf Mehdi, CVP of Microsoft's Windows and Devices Group, explained, quote, every new title published from Microsoft Studios will support Xbox Play Anywhere and will be easily accessible in the Windows Store.
That's kind of awesome.
Revised statement, however, states every new title published from Microsoft Studios that we showed on stage at E3 this year, emphasis added on showed on stage at E3 this year, will support Xbox Play Anywhere and will be easily accessible in the Windows Store. The new wording suggests that Microsoft doesn't want to commit to all future Microsoft Studios published games being playable across both PC and Xbox, meaning we'll have to wait and see whether future games in the Halo or Forza Motorsport series could come to PC. Multiple games have already been confirmed that Xbox One Play Anywhere, however, including Forza Horizon 3, Scalebound, Sea of Thieves, Halo Wars 2, and Gears of War 4. The first game to be supported, ReCore, launches on September 13th. I mean, this is a really cool idea to have this cross-buy, cross-play initiative.
Yeah, especially on Microsoft's side, I feel like their best bet obviously is to do it with PC since they don't have the handheld like Sony does. Once again, I feel like it's almost just like Sony was there already with the cross-buy. Yeah. Not saying that I wanted Microsoft to do a handheld at all, because I think that would have died and probably been worse than Sony's. But I just think it makes sense. Like, why has that company been so separate for so long between PC and their console? It just didn't make sense to me.
I feel like it's a little more upsetting, I guess, for
Sony,
current Xbox owners.
Oh, for Xbox owners, okay.
Yeah, the ones that have had the Xbox One for the last 2 years and now are finding out that some of these games that they've been waiting for are also going to PC.
Oh yeah, like for
that
the
would rub me a little bit wrong. I mean, I'll get over it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna like make a huge fuss out of it, but it would bother me a little bit as opposed to PS4 and Vita. Like that never bothered me at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you saw the cross-buy stuff.
Well, because it's still in the family, I think is why it never really irked us over on this side of the fanboydom. You know what I mean?
I think what bothers me is I don't, even though Microsoft like owns PC and Windows, like I don't look at it that way. You know, like I don't feel like I'm invested in the Microsoft ecosystem that much if I'm playing a game on PC.
Yeah, that's what always confused me about Xbox. That's what always kind of deterred me from Xbox, was I always inevitably saw this coming, so I was always confused as to why they had a console. Especially because Xbox controllers were always the ones that my friends who were big on PC gaming, like they would always be able to connect their Xbox controllers without a wired connection, which sucked for me because I would always have to plug in my PS3 one or whatever if I wanted to play a PC game. So this just seemed inevitable to me. I guess I don't disassociate it as much as you did.
Now the thing is though, like we're not going to be able to get these games on Steam though. It seems like they're going to be Windows Store only, so that kind of does make it like in the family. Like, the only way to get this thing is if you go on to Windows Store, which is Microsoft, you know, Central. So, you know, in that way, it makes sense. And as Yadio says, I don't get why it bothers Xbox owners. MS owns Xbox and Windows. It's more than normal, and it was to be expected when Windows 10 was announced. No, I don't think it wasn't to be expected. I just wish they would have made it clear from the very beginning of the generation.
There should have been a broad statement of, okay, even though we don't have this feature ready right now, this is our plan for the console. So if you already have a PC gaming rig, like, you don't need this for our.
Clearly they knew it was going to bother people because when Gears of War was leaked to be on Windows 10 like 3 times, they like shut down the website, like they debunked a rumor. They clearly knew that people didn't like the idea and they were trying to hide it as long as possible. So that means that they didn't originally plan on this being the case. Gears of War 4 was supposed to be an Xbox One exclusive, and then it went to Windows 10 as well.
I feel like they had like the Ganados from Resident Evil 4 where they run up with the pitchforks and the torches, and then Leon and Ashley get across the bridge and they roll up the bridge. I feel like that's what Microsoft did. They were like, we're going to create this mod, we're going to lure you this way, and then we're bringing up the bridge.
Right. So I mean, I'm with you, Yadio. So I do agree. It is the Microsoft ecosystem. It makes sense. I just wish they would have announced it a little bit sooner.
Thank you to JezS133 for following the channel. Everybody else, if you're new in the room, I'm Greg. This is Drew. He makes the show. I'm a part of the show. I'm usually the flamboyant, gay, crazy one. Hit that heart button from whatever device you're watching us from in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. It's probably right under me from whatever device you're watching.
Okay, I don't think I told you. We have $83 in donations tonight already.
What?
Yeah.
Clap it up for our viewers.
We had a $13 donation, or sorry, $23 donation from Tobes.
That's
a $10 donation
but I appreciate it.
from, I'm going to open it up right now. I'm drawing a blank on the $10. The $10 donation came from Mr. Rager, Tyler.
Oh, awesome.
And then we got a $50 donation from Your Average Psych.
Oh my God, Psych, you literally tickle my fancy in the best ways.
I didn't think tickle was coming there.
No, neither did I, to be honest with you. I never know what's going to come out of my mouth until it actually comes out of my mouth. That is
okay, why don't you take this last story? Let's see what comes out of your mouth.
I hated that. Evolve is going free to play on the PC. Consoles soon to come. What? Turtle Rock writes, when people first started playing Evolve at those and other conferences, it was magical. I think that's a little bit of a over-exaggeration. That sounds like a story that Greg would write. Sure, there was the AAA video game hype surrounding our title. Yeah, we also had the flashy displays, the giant Goliath statue, and all the other things AAA games do to get people excited. And that stuff was cool, really cool. But what we lived for, what was colored by far, was just seeing people play Evolve for the first time. We worked on it for years, and then suddenly people got to experience our game controller in hand, and there was genuine excitement, real joy. When people played it, it was like nothing they'd ever played before, and watching it happen was like no high we've ever felt. This is a crazy written story.
I mean, he's not really lying, though. It was like a ton of awards at E3 and all the trade shows. Like, there was a lot of hype for this game.
There was a lot of hype, and then it just kind of crashed and burned. But continuing on. Then, when Evolve launched, the reception wasn't what we expected. Sure, there was some good reviews. There were also bad reviews. Yes, there was excitement, but there was also disappointment. For players and for us. The DLC shitstorm hit full force and washed away people's enthusiasm, dragging us further and further from that first magical pick-up-and-play experience. We want that magic back, and we aim to make it happen. We've made a lot of changes, improvements, and additions to Evolve over the past year, and we've got a lot more coming. In short, we're giving the game a vigorous overhaul. Most importantly, we just just want to put the game in your hands. Try Evolve out, see what you think. We hope you like it, and we're not going to charge you to give it a try. Quote, wait, what? What does that mean? End quote. I don't know who's quoting that, but it means we have been listening and now we're taking Evolve in the direction that a lot of people have suggested since the beginning. We're making Evolve free on PC, no buy-in or box required. Making Evolve free on PC is going to be a process that takes time and a lot of hard work, but we believe in Evolve and we believe in you, our players, and want to do what's best for both of you. So I'm posting a question in the chat room for you guys.
I already did, actually. I already posted it for them.
Look at you.
And go ahead and read it off, though.
Yeah, so will this get you guys into playing Evolve? We have the options of yes, I'll at least give it a shot now, not a short. Yes, this will bring me back into Evolve. No, Evolve was a disappointment and this won't change that. Or no, wasn't interested before and still not now. I'll be falling into the D category myself.
And also, thank you to a couple more follows from Toofly and Angry Hippie. Nice to have you. Welcome to our network. This is the Level Up Network. This is the Level Up Show, specifically on Sundays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and we are happy to have you. We're on all week long with gaming talk shows and game streams. Anybody else who's new in the room, as Greg said already, please follow us. Hit that heart button at twitch.tv/levelupshow. We will shout you out. You'll get notifications whenever we go live.
Who wouldn't want to follow these two beautiful ass men? Thank you.
We're getting closer and closer to that follow goal as well, guys. 8,025 is the next follow goal because you got us above 8,000 recently. Huge.
What? We kind of had a party. We danced to the Ewok celebration theme from Star Wars Return of the Jedi. If you don't know it, look it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was never interested in Evolve. How about you?
No, I wasn't either. You know what's funny about this is kind of the same premise in a game is that summer camp game that now has gotten officially licensed as the Friday the 13th game. So one person plays the killer essentially, and then everybody else is controlling like the campers for the Friday the 13th example. But kind of the same idea that Evolve had. Friday the 13th actually interests me a lot more. Me and my friends used to play Uncharted 2's multiplayer. We used to make one person Michael Myers, and then everybody else would have to try to dodge them, and instead of shooting, we would all go in and just melee and kill each other. So that's basically the premise of Friday the 13th, which I think is pretty awesome. I think something more in the license family has a better shot of getting that done than a random game like Evolve does. That's just my personal take on it, though. Like Friday the 13th, I'm so stoked for it. But I
always thought it was a cool idea. I like the 4v1 idea.
Yeah.
The thing that turned me off from the very start is just that's all it was. You know, there's nothing else to it. It's just it's a competitive multiplayer game, and that's it. And I can't get into that.
Yeah.
The only competitive multiplayer only game I think I've ever played was Warhawk.
What? That's the most random one.
That's the only one. And I actually really enjoyed Warhawk, but that's like the only one I can think of that I bought that was a competitive multiplayer only game.
You didn't do The Last of Us, right?
I didn't what?
You didn't do The Last of Us multiplayer?
I did it, but that's not a competitive multiplayer only game.
Oh, you're saying like just in general, like it was that?
Yeah, like a game that only has that's its only mode is competitive.
I thought you meant like multiplayer modes in general. Yeah, the last one I did was what was the sequel to Warhawk? Starhawk. That was the only one I ever invested in. That one was actually really really fun, but then the online community just kind of dwindles after a while, and then like it becomes like idiotic. That's how all multiplayers I feel like become, and I feel like that deteriorates the experience, especially if that's the only thing you have offering in your package. Like. That kind of sucks.
I feel like if anything makes sense to go free to play, it is a competitive multiplayer only game.
Yes.
That it actually makes sense. I'm okay with this.
I'm completely okay with it.
I hope it works out for them because I can't imagine what a bummer that was.
Yeah.
They come off such a high to win like 200 Game of Show awards and have all this hype surrounding your game, and then it comes out and it gets like 7s and 8s and like nobody buys it and nobody plays it and it's forgotten in like 2 weeks. Like that's got to be the worst.
I just can't imagine like do you remember the game that happened to on the PlayStation Network when it had the outage? It was that small indie title. Outland?
The SOCOM.
And Outland too. Outland was like the indie one that was supposed to come for the longest time with like you change the colors of your character in order to go through. It was like the 2D platformer.
Okay.
And I remember that was releasing that week and I was so upset that I couldn't get that game because I was always into the indie titles. And I just felt so bad for that developer because I remember I followed them on like Twitter and Instagram and everything and they had like hyped it up. And then like the PlayStation Network went out and they were like, oh. So then like everybody that didn't get to play it and everything, I feel like that was one of those situations. Just a big
That was a terrible situation.
That was the worst.
Never forget.
Oh, never forget. Hashtag never forget.
All right. Let's move on to our trailer of the week. First, I'm going to do the poll results, though, actually. Let's see
Alright.
what you guys had to say about Evolve, if you have any plans to jump back in. All right, so here's what you guys had to say. We had 5 votes. The top option was no, wasn't interested before, still not now. We had 1 vote for no, Evolve was a disappointment, and this won't change that. We had 1 vote for yes, this will bring me back into Evolve. And we have 3 votes for, yeah, I'll give it a shot now, at least.
That's cool.
There you go. So you got a few people jumping in there. Like, why not? It's free.
For shizzle.
Yeah. Stevie, thank you for the follow, man. Really appreciate it.
Hey! Everybody else,
the
hit the
best,
heart
man.
button if you're not following us already. We love you all equally, and we appreciate your follows. Still at 80 people in the room, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I love if there's new people in the room. Chat in the chat room and feel welcome. Our community is the best community in the world. There's no such thing as a stupid question, number one, and there's no such thing as just a stupid statement. I mean, there is.
And don't hesitate
Yeah.
to share the show.
Yeah. Share it. All you got to do is put us on your Twitters, your Instagrams, do everything. We recently just had somebody follow us on Instagram. I'm blanking on the name now, but I'll look you up, who screenshotted us following them and then freaked out and posted it on their Instagram. It kind of made my whole day.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
If every new person that comes in tonight brings in a new person, and then that new person brings in a new person, and that new person brings in a new person,
Okay, well, now you're getting crazy, but yes.
suddenly we've got like 100 new people.
What? How did you do that math? What are you, an
It can
architect?
It can happen.
I loved that.
I'm like the little black kid from Angels in the Outfield.
Yes! That's my favorite movie reference you've ever made.
I'm the little black kid.
I aspire to be him. I wish we knew his name, but I don't remember it.
All right. So, as I was saying, after a long delay, let's check out our trailer of the week. Once again, sorry that Greg will not be on screen for this one, but
Hey, you guys are dirty.
I feel real bad about it.
No, you're fine. And Mia Grotto was the Instagram follower. Shout out to you, Mia.
Shout out to you. Check it out, guys.
Oh, yes. So stoked for this.
I want to talk. I've been thinking about you and me,
I'm so happy they haven't implemented
About
the
how this is
new
going
DC
to end.
logo yet onto all their stuff.
about who will end up killing who. Perhaps you'll kill me. Perhaps
Oh,
I'll kill
Gabs.
you. You know that, don't you?
Oh,
That's gonna be messed up to see that scene recreated.
I don't wanna, but I do, but I don't.
Tell me what I'm doing here.
You're going mad.
Where is he?
Why aren't you laughing? All it takes is one bad day.
I think it might have come out in like a very small, limited release in some theaters. Is that true?
So some theaters. Okay, so first of all, I'll answer your question. Mel was like, "What is this? This is the Killing Joke animated Batman movie that they said they were going to turn into a DC animated film."
It's considered one of the greatest graphic novels in the Batman universe ever.
Yeah, one of my favorites personally. And then so they decided to make it a full-length feature film. Got rated R, which is a good thing for this movie. And then they did a selected run in, I think it was like 25 or 30 theaters across the country, something crazy. Like it was very, very rare. And now it's starting to expand to, I think it's like 5,000 theaters in like select states. And that's going to be another limited release run. And then it releases for purchase. You can go pre-order it on Amazon.com for you to own a copy as well. But the hard copy has not been released yet, I don't believe. I'm double checking on that now, though.
Have you read it, Greg?
The novel, yes.
Where would you rank it? Is it one of your favorites?
It's probably top 3 for me. I recently got into Jessica Jones a lot. I've been reading a lot of Jessica Jones. One of her issues is my 3rd. Killing Joke is probably at number 2. And then Flashpoint Paradox is my 1st.
Okay. Now, did you see the person who actually completely redid this newest trailer with the style of the old graphic novel before they made it more realistic in coloring?
I don't think I did, no.
I'm trying to find it on YouTube right now.
For the Killing Joke, though, you mean?
Oh God, yeah, The Killing Joke.
Yeah. I don't think I saw this one. And the release date for the movie on digital and physical copy will be July 25th of this year.
I found it. Okay. Now, I actually prefer this style to what they did I don't think the animation is very good, personally, for this movie.
Oh, neither do I. Me and Dean talked about that on an episode of Power Up where it kind of looked a little old and a little bit janky, especially to their new 52
It looks
stuff.
like they took the most important of the Batman graphic novels and like gave it the worst treatment.
Yeah, I completely agree.
It's like they didn't care. It really bothers me because this is the best. Like, it really is probably the best that they could have chosen story-wise, and they gave it like a half-assed animation. Now check out this though. I'm gonna put it up on the screen here on the web browser. This is the redone. Somebody redrew it in the old style of the graphic novel, and I think it's really cool. Check it out, guys.
Oh, this is fucking awesome.
I want to talk. I've been thinking about you and me. About how this is going to end. About who will end up killing who.
Oh wow, they did Babs as the
Perhaps
older
you'll
suit,
kill
too.
me. Perhaps I'll kill you. You know that, don't you?
I feel like that's so much better.
It's like
personally.
eons better. Eons.
Would you agree?
Oh my god, 100%. There was so much outrage after the first Killing Joke trailer had come out. Dean and I did a reaction to it on Power Up. And it seems like they almost backtracked on their animation style, especially with all their new 52 movies that have come out recently, like Justice League vs. Teen Titans, Son of Batman, Batman vs. Robin, like all of these movies that have come out, their animation style kept improving. And then with the Killing Joke, it's like they took that and they were like, all right, guys, let's go back to 1990s Cartoon Network Justice League cartoon. And everyone was like, wait, what? And to be honest, I don't even think it's as good as that quality. But I am very stoked for this film nonetheless. I think it's just...
Everybody in the chat is agreeing that this one looked better.
Yeah, 100%.
Everyone's like, that looked amazing. That was awesome. So Strife Girl, 10 times better, says Buddy Doze. Bootyful, says Miss Mel. Yeah, I was very, very surprised at how well done that was by somebody who, like, it took them like a day. It was like a day later after that trailer release, they had already reanimated with the colors, and I was like, wow, that is crazy.
To have the time and the talent to do that, God bless.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right, we're going to move on to the second part of the level update after this quick commercial break, so hold on tight, my dark passenger. We'll be back in approximately 60 seconds. Welcome back, Level Uppers, to the Level Up Show, episode 129. This is a gaming dedicated talk show on every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I am one of your co-hosts, Andrew. I make the show Midori, and I am joined by my brother and my teammate, Gregory Verga.
Howdy, howdy, it's the boy Chief.
If people like what they're seeing at any point, what they should do is hit that heart button right now at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. We will shout you out. You'll get notifications whenever we go live. Let's check out our most recent follows here. Actually, I can do that right on the screen.
Especially
our most recent follows
88
came from...
people.
We had Stevie. We also had Angry Hippie, Toofly Guy, Jez S. We had Undertale's Girl and Rio Garavera. Thank you so much to all the follows. We appreciate you guys so much, and we also appreciate all the donations. You guys have been wild tonight, man.
You might even say that we love you.
Yeah, you might. You might say that, Greg.
I would.
I think you should say that, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't have to yell.
Moving on. I'm going to take this first story here because I love Final Fantasy.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Have you always been a fan, or?
I was waiting for it, Greg. All right, so Kingsglaive had its first screening recently in Japan. A lot of people are seeing it, though, not just in Japan, and the reviews are stellar. It's very positive. Let's read some of these off here. These are all like tweets that came out after the advanced screening. Those who are planning to buy Final Fantasy 15, you have to watch it. Those who aren't planning to buy it, you will if you watch this movie. It respects the series pedigree, but damn, what a way to handle the baton to the next generation. Next up, holy shit, just holy shit. Final Fantasy at its best, and then it shot into Hollywood. Monsters felt outright alien sometimes.
Wow.
Next up, tears. Cried a lot. I think the whole theater was crying at the end. There was outright sobbing around the midpoint, too. Wonder if Noctis realizes what a huge burden he's really inherited.
Wow.
Next up, a huge work, really. Kind of unexpected in some aspects, but in a good way.
Oh.
Next up, A beautiful movie, though the action scenes were sometimes so fast they was a hard time following. Wish the heroine's VA was a bit more expressive. This is the Japanese version though, so that won't matter for the American version.
Yeah. I feel like ours
Lena
will be
Headey
better
is doing
acted.
Luna in the American version.
Indeed she is.
6 comment. Fantastic. Might go to see it again at the theater. Story felt like a part of a really huge tale. Knew nothing about the setting before watching it and still could follow the movie just fine.
That's good.
Number 7. The Versus/15 project might have had a troubled history, but Kingsglaive definitely delivered. Really interested in the story now.
Wow.
Number 8. Putting CGI aside, we all knew it looked great.
True.
I was impressed by the pacing and composition. Even the prologue alone felt like a fully realized tale. The story also doesn't get bogged down in exposition, and the balance of silence and motion is superb. My only criticism is that considering how rawly realistic and gruesome the story is, it should have been more bloody. Really recommend watching it before playing the game because people who know only the demo might get floored by how dark the story really is.
Wow.
Number 9. Been waiting for this since Versus announcement, and yeah, it delivered. Very emotive, and the story reduced me to tears. Nyx is a great character, and it really drives home how much hope and desperation rests on Noctis' shoulders. Everything for the future king, indeed. Wow. And the last one, number 10. Way too amazing. Stunningly beautiful world and effects. The sunrise scenes in particular. The OST delivered too. Powerful and dynamic, but also beautiful. Spent the whole credits crying. The OST was giving me constant goosebumps. For people who had been following the project since the Versus days, this whole thing hit like a truck.
That's fucking awesome. I'm
like,
so happy.
Could those be any like more positive?
No, like not in the slightest. The only thing I would say to the one criticism that we heard about it being more bloody is I feel like Final Fantasy movies are never bloody, and the Final Fantasy games aren't even that bloody.
Right.
So I feel like that's just the world that they built. I don't think it's meant to be bloody.
Even when there is blood, usually it's like discolored blood. It's never like truly
it's not like,
red blood.
It's not like slaughtering human beings. Like that's not what they go for. It's fantasy oriented. Final Fantasy.
Right. When it was first revealed though as Final Fantasy Versus 13, that first trailer, there was a fair amount of blood in that first trailer.
Oh, that I'm not recalling.
Because that was the point. The reason it was called Versus 13 is because it was supposed to be like the exact opposite of everything that was Final Fantasy before that. It was supposed to be fantasy in a realistic world. There was going to be a lot of blood. It was going to be really dark, Shakespearean tale. That's why it was called Versus. That's why it had the blood and whatnot. So since then, it's definitely changed a lot. 15 is not what Versus was. But, you know, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I feel like Tetsuya Nomura, following the departure from Versus 13, he's taking what he wanted to do with that game, and he's integrating it into his remake of Final Fantasy VII instead.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
100%. I'm excited for both Final Fantasy VII, the remake, and Kingsglaive, and Final Fantasy 15. I'll be picking up all of those.
I'm so excited to go see this movie in theaters. I really hope that it comes to this area.
I would imagine there would be one near you.
Yeah. I'd be willing to drive like 30 minutes.
I was going to say, even if you have to go like a little bit out of the way.
Right.
I feel like it'll be...
Greg, did you post the poll in the chat by chance?
No, I did not. I'm sorry, I did not realize there was a poll with this guy.
Yeah, could you do that for me really quick?
100%.
We have a question for you guys. What are your expectations for Kingsglaive? It will be a massive failure on par with The Spirits Within. Number 2, it will be a disappointment even to Final Fantasy fans. Number 3, Final Fantasy fans will enjoy it. Or 4, it will be the best received video game movie yet.
Oh, did I delete part of the poll?
Let's see here.
Was I supposed to put poll open?
You need to put exclamation point poll open.
Open, that's what I'm missing.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't put that in it myself. I should have put that in there.
I knew I was missing a word. No, please, shut your mouth.
There you go. That worked that time.
Yay!
And go ahead with the next story, Greg.
Perfect. Canceled Roman Call of Duty game has been revealed. What? IGN's Alex Osborne writes, as footage, Call of Duty could have gone in a very different direction a few years ago, as footage of a Roman-inspired take on Activision's popular franchise has reportedly surfaced. GamesRadar got a hold of some footage of an early build of the game titled Call of Duty, Roman Wars. According to the outlet, Activision was looking to experiment with the series back in 2008. It was taking pitches from various developers. At that time, Skylanders and Guitar Hero developer Vicarious Visions started work on Roman Wars, which centered around Julius Caesar's 10th Legion. The game would have featured both first and third-person gameplay where players would take on various roles, including officers, archers, and grunts. Additionally, Roman Wars would have been very similar in tone to films like 300 and Gladiator and taken place across a wide variety of locales, including the sea, the plains, plains, and the forest. A single level was created and based on the Battle of Elysia. In it, players can engage in a direct sword and shield combat or opt for a ranged approach by firing off arrows from a tower. Catapults could be used as another method of attack, and rideable elephants were featured as the game's tank equivalent. While the bulk of the level employs a third-person perspective with an over-the-shoulder style like Gears of War, it also features a first-person Coliseum section that used a fighting system similar to the combat found in the Condemned games. Had Activision moved forward with the project, the game would have released in 2013 for Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, with potential next-gen ports for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. However, the publisher was reportedly reluctant to attach the Call of Duty branding to the game because it was very, very different. As such, the project was eventually scrapped, and Activision instead went with Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. My, what a different world that would have been if this game released.
I feel like every time they get close to doing something really drastically different with Call of Duty, it gets canceled.
Because they get nervous. But like,
yeah, exactly. It seems like they're never sure of themselves.
Which is weird because I feel like just attaching the name Call of Duty to anything at this point, it would sell.
It's like Sledgehammer. They were supposedly working on a third-person Vietnam one, I want to say.
Yeah, that one. That's the one I was thinking of, too.
And then they got pulled off of it because they moved on to Advanced Warfare instead. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, that would have been interesting. A third-person Vietnam game in the Call of Duty universe, that would have been interesting. I wish they would have done it.
That would have been closer to, closer to what they've been doing now, I should say, than Roman Wars, 100%. But the Roman Wars game sounds interesting. And like I said, I feel like the only way for a game like that to sell would be to attach Call of Duty to it.
Right.
Or any licensed property. If you did call 300 the game or something, that would probably...
It's hard to be too upset, though, because clearly by the footage, it was super, super early.
Oh, yeah. I'm not upset in the slightest. I haven't played a Call of Duty since Black Ops.
I'm sure somebody's upset.
Somebody is crying out.
Somebody's always upset.
The one part that got me was rideable elephants. I mean, who doesn't want that in their video
Well,
games,
I mean, we had Far Cry, right? So...
Yeah, but... It wasn't Call of Duty. Elephants.
Next up, Adam Boyes has officially left PlayStation because he is returning to game development instead.
An odd story that we have this week with this.
IGN's Jonathan Dombush, new name.
Love that.
Welcome to IGN, Jonathan Dombush.
Welcome to the Level Up Show, Jonathan.
Enjoy your stay there. PlayStation VP of Third-Party Relations, Adam Boyes, is departing from his position at PlayStation to return to the development side of the industry. Boyes made the announcement on Twitter as well as on the PlayStation blogcast today, saying, quote, "After an incredible journey here at PlayStation, I have made the very hard decision to return to the world of game development," Boyes wrote in a series of tweets. Boyes was frequently a presence at Sony E3 press conferences and also notably appeared in a video with Sony's president of Worldwide Studios, Shuhei Yoshida, in a humorous video depicting how easy it is to share PlayStation 4 games in comparison to Microsoft's original Xbox One game-sharing plans. Quote, "The past 4+ years have been an absolutely amazing experience. I'd like to start out by thanking the incredible PlayStation Nation fans. Lots of thanks to throw out over the coming weeks as I wrap things up to head out on my new adventure. Stay tuned." Boyes also spoke about his decision to leave on the blogcast, saying, "It's been an amazing run. I've been here for over 4 years and had an incredible experience, and I want to go make games again. That's basically the next chapter of Adam's story, is making games," Boyes said on the show, in third person. Boyes noted that even if his wife questioned why he would want to leave a dream job like this, he explained that seeing all the success and seeing all the people out there doing great things and putting caution to the wind is pretty exciting in the development space. Now, first, we want to reveal the poll results on the first one, as Greg just did. So before we move on to this new poll, you guys had this to say about Final Fantasy Kingsglaive. Nobody thought it would be a massive disappointment. Nobody thought it would be a disappointment at all, actually. We had 6 votes for Final Fantasy fans will enjoy it, and we had 7 votes for it will be the best received video game movie yet.
I would agree with that, probably.
These reviews are very positive. I would not be surprised. Our next poll, Greg is going to be putting on in now. We have this question for you guys. What is your favorite Adam Boyes moment? Is it the trading of the used game with Shuhei Yoshida? Is it revealing Final Fantasy VII Remake at E3 followed by Shenmue 3? Is it his many indie game montages? He was kind of the spokesperson for indie game montages at E3. Or was it his endless dad jokes?
That's my favorite.
Always super cringeworthy, but I think intentionally so.
Yeah, me too. I feel like that's what he was going for with those.
Oh, 100% that's what he was going for.
Yeah. Those are
I love that guy. He would always do awesome NeoGAF call-outs. I'm going to miss the guy.
He seems like a fun guy.
We
Makes
keep
sense
losing.
now
Like
why he wasn't on stage at the previous. or
maybe
this last,
it's possible.
You know what I mean?
Maybe he was already contemplating leaving. I'm not
I
sure,
feel like he
but
was one of their big presenters too. Always.
Shuhei wasn't there either.
That's what I thought was odd. But I
Yeah.
think they're saving him maybe for Tokyo Game Show or something like that.
Thank God we still have Shu because Jack
Yes.
Tretton is gone. Now Adam Boyes. Like these are my guys.
We
these
lost
are my PlayStation guys here.
What's his face too? The little black boy from the Vita commercials.
Oh God, what's his name?
I know this is gonna piss me off now. Why did I say this?
Shit! Step your game up.
I know.
Says.
Right.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
I know. I'm gonna get there. I'm looking it up.
I feel like it starts with an M.
Is it? I thought it was Russell.
No, it's not Russell.
Oh,
It's gotta start with an M. Did you figure it out?
No.
Just type in Step Yo Game Up. I guarantee
I did.
it comes
Nothing
up.
came up.
Nothing came up for Step
That's the
Yo
first
Game
thing.
Up?
What is his
And
name?
by the way, I'm not like adding in the yo. That's what it was. Step Yo Game Up.
I keep getting Snoop Dogg.
Marcus.
Marcus.
I was right. It started with an M, right?
Who's the little black boy named Russell? Oh, that's from Telltale's The Walking Dead's 400 Days. That's who Russell is.
There you go.
Yeah. You're welcome, kids. I'll be here all night.
All right, and the final story of the night. Go ahead, Greg.
I'm on it. No Man's Sky has gone gold. Burr, burr, burr. If you're excited for it. GamerRant.com writes, highly anticipated space exploration title No Man's Sky is officially ready for disc pressing. As developer Hello Games confirms the title has gone gold. After several delays and a few nasty death threats, the developers at Hello Games can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. Their highly anticipated space exploration game No Man's Sky has finally gone gold, and presumably the delays are a thing of the past. In a tweet on the official No Man's Sky Twitter page, the Hello Games development team can be seen celebrating with a pressed disc in hand. It's happened. Quote, says Hello Games, No Man's Sky just went gold. I'm so incredibly proud of this tiny team. 4 years of emotions, end quote. It's interesting to note the amount of people in the picture since Hello Games first started to work on the game with a very small team. Now the team has grown to include a larger force who is ready to ship a new game. The team has also come a long way since a flood destroyed their offices back in 2014. At the time, the Hello Games team was very small, and it appeared the flood might derail any progress on No Man's Sky at all. But now, nearly 2 years later, the finished product has gone gold, and celebration will surely ensue. That being said, Uncharted 4 did go gold and was still delayed, but that delay was to ensure the product would be available for a global release. We'd venture to guess that No Man's Sky will not be in as high of a demand as Uncharted 4, and therefore an August launch is still in the cards. Even if it's not on the AAA scale, anticipation is certainly high enough for No Man's Sky, which looks to offer something unique to gamers with its space exploration. Granted, there have been many questions regarding what players will actually do within the game, but the opportunity to fly around a universe that is so vast that no one person can see it all is very, very intriguing, to say the least. Are you picking up No Man's Sky, Drew?
I am 100% getting this game.
Wow, that is a...
No, I'm really pumped, man. I'm really excited for this game.
Oh, that's very exciting.
I was at the PlayStation VR at Best Buy,
Okay.
and I couldn't help but ask the guy,
Mm.
just in case he had any insider knowledge, the PlayStation spokesman.
What did
It's
he
like,
say?
do you know if No Man's Sky is going to be PlayStation VR compatible? He said no.
Oh,
But
that
who
might
knows?
just be him not knowing because he works at Best Buy.
Yeah, I don't think he really has any
Imagine
insider
he told
knowledge.
you yes,
So.
and we got an inside scoop on the Level Up show.
No, we didn't.
Insider!
I really think it's going to be. I feel like they're preparing it. By the time PlayStation VR comes out, like they're just trying to get the game done right now, right?
Yes.
Getting it out for August or whenever it is, and then the 2 or 3 months they have after that before PlayStation VR comes out, they're gonna start working heavily on integrating VR.
I'm picturing that holiday commercial with PlayStation VR and No Man's Sky, like pretending like somebody's in a spaceship or something flying around. Like, don't you
Oh
just
god,
see
yeah,
that
it would
happening?
work perfectly.
Yeah, I feel like it just makes sense. And I'm very evident here. I'm very excited for you. I'm happy that you're super pumped, Drew. I'm also happy you're super pumped. I don't want to say that I hate the game at all. That's probably how I come off a lot. But I do want to say that, like, I'm excited for those of you that are excited. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not excited myself for the title. I have no interest in purchasing
Yeah,
myself.
that's like
but
when
I'm
Call
not
of Duty
down
is
on
revealed
it.
and stuff. Like, I
Yeah.
have no interest in, like, a Call of Duty reveal, but I get excited for it because I'm just excited to see how people react, whether it be
Yes.
disappointed or excited. It doesn't matter. I'm happy for people if they get what they want.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel. As long as everyone that's happy for the market that the people are going for and selling for. As long as you guys are happy, then I'm content with my life. Apologies to Dragon Con for yelling. I have no filter. So if you're wearing headphones,
I'm surprised though that it hurt his ears, because I've actually halved your volume on my end so that you wouldn't be too loud.
I love that.
I mean, I don't have control through Hangouts, unfortunately. Like, Skype lets you control the opposing person's volume. Google Hangouts doesn't let you, so I have to control your volume through XSplit, and I have you halved. But I'll lower you down even further, just in case you're a little loud.
In the future, I can Skype in if that's easier for you.
No, you're fine where you are. Okay, I'll just lower you down a little further so that anybody who has headphones on doesn't get a burst eardrum.
Yeah, this is very true. And Tobes, this is very true. I'm always excited.
But going back to what you were also saying about Uncharted 4 being in bigger demand, yeah, I think that Uncharted 4 is going to be the better selling of the two games, but I wouldn't underestimate No Man's Sky. There's a pretty big hype machine building there for this.
The thing I'm most excited for, I'm very intrigued to see how No Man's Sky sells. Just because, number one, I want it to be successful, not just for the people that are very hyped up for the game, but just for the Hello Games team in general, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've been through fucking hell and back with this game, and they deserve big profits on this game.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Oh my god, 1,000%, yeah. Especially because of not only all the criticism that they've gotten from fans and just everybody in the gaming industry in general. When is this game coming out? That's constantly what you heard about the game.
Right.
So I'm hoping that the positivity and the hype is still there, and I hope it reviews well too when it comes out. Here's to
I hope so too, man. I hope so too. Johnny Bullseye says, "Is bleeding out of the ears normal?"
Yes, it is. On Sundays, yes.
And Chicken Hawk says, "Have you guys talked about Pokemon Go?" We haven't, but I'd be willing to talk about it a little bit right now, because I did download it.
Yeah, I downloaded it. I have yet to use it.
I've used it a little bit, but I haven't gotten out too much. So that means, like, I haven't really taken advantage of it. I haven't gone to, like, any gyms. I picked up a couple Pokemon around my neighborhood. At work, the Barnesboro Inn across the street from my work is a Pokestop, which is kind of awesome. So I have, like, access to unlimited Pokeballs if I want them.
That's awesome.
So that's cool. I think it's a great idea, but I'm really kind of nervous about it at the same time. Like, I'm just waiting for even more terrible stories than have already started to come out. Like, I'm just waiting for kids being abducted because they've left their neighborhood, like little 6-year-old kids, because they, for some reason, have an iPhone because their parents gave them an iPhone, and they're on the GPS, and they just wander away. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm going to go wherever the Pokemon are, so they end up 5 miles away from their house, and then they're abducted or hit by a car, God forbid. Like, I'm just waiting for it to happen. It sounds so pessimistic, but I feel like something bad's going to happen.
I just feel like it's so dangerous to take the video gaming, because so many people, there was like a story I read about some girl texting in New York City, and they opened up a manhole cover, and they were doing work in the sewers, and she fell right into the sewer grate and broke both of her legs. And that was her texting. So just imagine that, but even more interactive with Pokemon Go. Like, I could just only imagine what's going to happen to people.
Like, I already told Kristen about it, and she thought it was a really cool idea. She's like, that's such a cool idea. But then, like, it took her, like, 5 seconds before I saw her eyes kind of, like, shift around. And she's like, wait a second. Yeah. And even she was like, this is going to cause problems. Like, it is. It's going to totally cause problems. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of annoyed by the, like, fanaticism on the internet by it.
Yeah, 100% me too.
Like, I feel bad to say that, but, like, my Facebook feed is, like, taken over by it. I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
I'm
like,
over it. I'm over it.
Get over it. Like,
I'm
it's so annoying already.
Course today, and as I'm scrolling through, I'm drinking my Starbucks coffee, being a basic white human being as I am, and I'm sitting there drinking, and everyone's status is, just caught a Charmander, just caught a Pikachu. I'm like, congratulations, you have a fake Pokemon.
At the same time, though, I'm happy that they're happy. I just wish it wasn't taking over my Facebook feed.
That's how I feel. I used to see people's lives, and now I see Pikachus every 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Congratulations to those of you that have captured a Pikachu, because
and it's just like the thing is, like, I know that I will never be this obsessive about it. Like, it's not my kind of thing. Like, I think I'll jump into it here and there. Like, if I'm at like a new place, I might jump in and be like, oh, I wonder if there's a Pokemon around here. But I guarantee I probably will never go to like a gym or anything like that.
The reason why I love video games so much is because it's when I'm least active in my life and I'm like tired, or I'm going to stream something for the channel and I want to be at home and stationary for an experience. Like the same way I would watch a movie. I feel like that's like telling me, oh, Greg, you want to watch your movie on the go? Now you can watch it with these. And I'm like, I don't want to do that, though. I want to be relaxed.
Mike, how am I being a negative Nancy because I don't want to see my Facebook feed taken over by Pokemon posts? It would be the same thing as, like, I'm tired of seeing every single person on Facebook posting pictures of their baby. Yeah. Like, it's the same thing. I want a little bit of diversity on my Facebook feed.
That's how I feel, too. I'm shocked
like, I want you guys to have fun. I'm really happy that you are having fun, and I hope that nobody gets injured. I think that it will happen, but I really hope that it doesn't. I hope that there's no longer any stories about car accidents or kids being abducted or killed. I hope it never happens. But yeah, it still doesn't take away any of my annoyances with the
I feel like it goes right
obsession that I'm seeing.
Yeah, it goes right back to what I was saying with No Man's Sky. Like, I'm very excited and happy for the people that are enthralled and excited by this. But it's just not something for me personally. So you guys go enjoy, be Pokemon, love your lives, become the best gym trainer you've ever been. But
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like, we
Demelo
fall in the
says,
same
"Oh, the
boat.
baby post. Don't even." You know what? I have a baby. I just like a newborn baby, and both Chris and I are the same way. Like we really like try to hold back on posting baby pictures because we know how annoying it is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I
so
agree.
annoying that when your feed is taken over by just constant baby pictures.
Well,
So,
I love babies, so I love looking at babies. But that's just me, I guess.
yeah.
I'd rather look at
I will
babies
say
than
that
Pokemon.
ever since like having a baby, I'm not as down on it. Like when I see baby pictures now, I'm like, oh, that's cute because
Yeah.
like I can relate.
Yeah.
So that's good at least, I guess.
But Eevee's one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful I've ever seen. So
Yeah, of course.
there's
Obviously.
that.
Avi.
Yeah, Avi. I love that.
All right, what's up next here?
We have our
Let's
on
move
the
on
spot.
to our second community focus segment of the night. It's called On the Pots, as Dean would call it.
Truth.
Every week, you guys can submit your hard-hitting questions on our Twitter at the Level Up Network, level spelled LVL. Just use hashtag on the spot, and we might choose you to be featured on our Sunday show. Our newest question is, Dear the Level Up Show, which games do you think have the best voice acting? And who are your favorite voice actors? That came from Tyler Elkins. This is an old one. This is from April. I dug deep into our archive of questions. Thank you, Tyler, for your question. Really appreciate it. How about you, Greg? What do you think? Which game do you think has the best voice acting?
I love this question. So you can go one of two ways for me personally. So one, I go with like my serious titles. So anything by Naughty Dog, past like Jack and Daxter and up. I think best voice acting as far as just telling their stories. Some of my favorite voice actors include Laura Bailey, Nolan North, Troy Baker, all those kids. My favorite game in most recent memory that I played that I thought had the best voice acting was actually Tales from the Borderlands.
I knew you were going to say
Telltale
that, and I
games.
agree. That was great.
There was nothing voice acting wise that I played in like the most recent years where I've just sat there and like that the voice acting in that game completely immersed me in that world. Like it was just so genuine, so witty, fit that world. And I'm not even a Borderlands fan, but I like got attached to Pandora and those characters. And
Yeah.
nothing will ever beat Loaderbot and Gortys and their interactions with one another. So that's my pick for best voice acting.
Tales from the Borderlands actually did pop into my mind as well. That really was a really well done game from that perspective, and so was Wolf Among Us.
Yes.
I really was
Also very-
immersed in that world, and I think the voice acting had a big part to do with that. They really sold all those characters, and there was a lot of diversity too in the characters' voices and the accents and whatnot, because you have so many different creatures.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty neat. I've always been very fond of the Metal Gear Solid series. It's a little bit, what would be the word, melodramatic, I guess, and
But I feel like
intentionally so.
purposely. Yeah, purposely.
Yeah, purposefully, exactly, and that makes it okay. I love David Hayter, as cheesy as it is, like his gruff Solid Snake voice. I've always been very partial to that, and I wish Kiefer Sutherland would never took over that role. I wish he would have stayed as David Hayter. He will always be Solid Snake and Big Boss and Old Snake to me. Let's see what else. The Last of
Shout
Us
out
is an
to-
obvious choice.
Yeah, Last of Us. I was gonna say that first scene. How could you beat that? And then any
Yeah.
scene with. Shout out to Ashley Johnson, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't name her on my list of video game actors. She actually is the one that plays Gortys in Tales from the Borderlands. Also,
Oh yeah, she was great.
also played Ellie in The Last of Us. So a very eclectic, awesome resume from that girl. P.S. I want to give a shout out to my favorite scene ever in a video game, the original Kingdom Hearts, for when the end, spoilers, this has come out so long ago, I don't know why I'm saying spoilers, it came out in 2002.
You'll never take
but fuck
Kyrie's
it.
heart.
Yes, you know my favorite scene ever in gaming, when Riku goes to slash down Sora, and then Kyrie's like, Sora! And he puts up the Keyblade, and you'll never take Kyrie's heart. It's my favorite acted scene in a game. Love it.
That is a good scene.
I love that scene. It just gets me so revved up every time I watch that. Like when I'm in a bad mood, I'll watch that scene and it just revs me up, and I'm like, fuck it. Like I'm ready to do whatever I'm ready to do.
I get chills, yeah, during that scene.
It gives me the goosebumps and all the.
One that comes to mind for me, going back to The Last of Us, Troy Baker, Ashley Johnson, those are definitely some of the top ones right now. Nolan North as well. But the Last of Us scene that really hits me more, even so than the opening scene,
bedroom,
is when
right?
they're in the house together,
Yeah,
and
the bedroom.
Ellie is reading the book, and you're on very thin ice right now, and she brings up his daughter, and he says, that I think he says something along the lines of like, "I'm not your father," kind of thing. But just like the acting in that scene and the motion capture and all of it came together so perfectly, and that like I teared up like in that scene, and it's so good.
When you see, I don't know how the fuck Naughty Dog is able to do this. I don't get how they're eons above all of their competitors and whatever the hell you want to call them. But when you see in that scene, you see Ellie's lip quiver after Joel says that. That's when I lost it.
They nailed it with that game, man. Like the
Oh my
eyes,
God.
especially like that final scene when she says nothing except okay, and I don't want to say too much there, obviously, because it's spoiling. But the emotion in her eyes, they did such a good job.
The other scene that gets me is when you come back in winter as Ellie, and then you return to the basement, and you lay down with Joel. Dude. She's like, it's going to be okay. Like, I'm with you. I'm like, oh.
A good mention in the chat came from Lucifer Belmont. Legacy of Kain was considered like the best voice acting for a really long time. And what's kind of funny about that game is it was Amy Hennig. That was a Amy Hennig directed game before she moved on to Uncharted. Yeah. So I think she knows what she's doing there. She knows how to bring in the right voices and how to direct those voices, probably. I would assume that she had a part in that, in the same way that Neil Druckmann would be directing Troy Baker, in the Last of Us scenes. I'm sure Amy Hennig was there directing whoever was involved in Legacy of Kain.
You would have
that
to
was
imagine.
a very good
Miss
suggestion.
Mel also shouted out Camilla Luddington, who played Lara Croft.
Yeah, she was good
in the reboot. I really liked her. I think sometimes a little bit overacting, but that's just in like not the cutscene so much as like the gameplay. Like in the gameplay where it's like,
orgasmic moans. Yeah, the orgasmic moans
like,
became a little much here and there. I will agree with that.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right, let's go to the final commercial break of the night. Thank you again to Tyler Elkins for your question on the spot. Submit your questions right now, guys. Go on our Twitter at the Level Up Network, level spelled LVL. Just use hashtag on the spot and post a hard-hitting question, and we might choose you for next week's show. For now, we'll be right back. Hold on tight, Strife Girl. We'll be back in approximately 60 seconds.
Turn up.
Welcome back, Level Uppers, to the Level Up Show, episode 129. This is a gaming dedicated talk show on every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. If you like what we're doing at any point, please make sure to follow the show. Hit that heart button at twitch.tv/the Level Up Show. We've had a lot of great supporters tonight, a lot of follows, a lot of donations. Our most recent follows came from, let's see here, open up my Gmail. We had Chairman Moldy Lung. We had Tasu 2015, Stevie MHZ, Angry Hippie, Toofly Guy, Jez S, Undertale's Girl, Rio Garavera, and we also had Vampire Games before the show even started today. And another one just came in from Homo Geeks. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, so you got that right.
Homo Geeks. Thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. We got a Homo Geek right there on the screen.
That's me.
You were in good company, Homo
love
Geeks.
that you just said that. Because I was thinking it, I'm so happy.
I couldn't resist.
I was
had to.
like, is it inappropriate if I claim that name? And then I was like, no. I love
If
that.
anybody else is new in the chat, please make sure to follow the show. Hit that heart button at twitch.tv/the Level Up Show. We will shout you out. You'll get notifications whenever we go live. We got Dustin in the room who just said, Drew, I can't wait for you to see my sign I made for you guys for WWE Raw tomorrow night. It cost me $40 and looks legit as F. I'm really excited, man. I'm going to try and see if I can see you maybe in like an archived like rerun of it. I'll be doing... Well, you know what? There's nothing going on tomorrow night. We're probably going to do a rerun, so maybe I can find you. I'll try and see if I can find WWE Raw. Everybody, watch either our rerun of this show tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, or watch WWE Raw and look for Dustin's sign that's promoting the Level Up Network.
My little brother watches wrestling, and I told him to look out for it. So
that's so cool. Like, imagine if we get like a moment where like we're really focused on.
Yeah.
That's going to be so crazy. Thank you so much for doing that, Dustin. That's such a cool idea. We really appreciate it.
Amazing.
All right. So here we go. We're going to move on to the topic of the week. And I don't know if you guys know about this already. If you know about it already, deal with us. It's a story that's been running for the last week and a half, but it's a really big and really important story. It really needs to be talked about, and people that don't know about it, we need to tell them about it. So that's why we're going to be talking about the CSGO gambling scandal that has started about a week and a half ago, but it actually started months ago, but it came to the forefront about a week and a half ago. So I'm going to do my best here to summarize what happened, the series of events.
So
first off,
events, you might even say.
Counter-Strike Go is a huge game on Twitch, right? It's one of the most streamed games, it's one of the most watched games on Twitch. And one of the reasons it is so watched is it has this economy about it for the skins that you get in the game. Now, this isn't like normal where like you just buy the skins outright and you get whatever ones you want or whatnot. It's a chance thing. So when you're playing the game, there are chests or like kind of like crates that you find, and you can buy a key to that crate in the game for $2.50. Now, when you open the crate, you don't know what you're going to get. It's randomized, but there are certain items that have a better chance of getting. Now, the items that are really rare, like certain knife skins, might be a 0.05% chance of getting those, and they literally are worth thousands of dollars in real world money.
That's crazy.
Because of the economy that has been built based on this system. And the economy that Valve has allowed to be built. Now, some are only a cent.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is you've got this wide range of monetary value, real world monetary value eventually for these skins. Now, because of that fact, certain sites have been created like CSGO Lotto and various other sites where people can trade skins and gamble on skins through a roulette, like slot machine type thing. Now, I bring up CSGO Lotto because two really big YouTube celebrities pushed this site. They're called, one is Trevor Martin, he goes by T Martin, and the other one is Thomas Castle, he's known as Pro Syndicate. Between these guys, they have over 10 million YouTube subs. These are big guys. These guys make $100,000 to $500,000 at least a year alone on YouTube subs.
That's crazy.
And ad revenue. That doesn't even count all the sponsorships and whatever else they have going on in their lives. These guys do not need more money. Just to get that out there right off the bat. Now, so T Martin, I think, was the first one to do it. He created a video on YouTube, and a lot of people are doing this. I don't want to act like T Martin's the only one that did it. But he would create a video where he was like, I'm going to try out this site for the first time, CSGO Lotto. And let me put the video up in the background actually here. I've got videos to go in the background. So he goes online, and he's like, I found out about this site called CSGO Lotto. Like, I just found it, and, you know, I followed the guys on Twitter, and they're really cool, and I tried it out for the first time, and I made, like, $60 in, like, 5 minutes. And he's like, and I was just, like, so blown away by it. And then he goes on to make other videos where he makes $10,000 in an hour. Wow. And it's like those kind of videos, right, where the title actually says, make $10,000 in 5 minutes using CSGO Lotto. So this guy's really pushing CSGO Lotto, right? Now, here's where it gets really shady and sketchy. He is benefiting monetarily from CSGO Lotto. He's involved with this website. Now, here's the thing. By FTC regulations, that's Federal Trade Commission, this is something that's been really created because of YouTube. Like, this was the Wild West, right? And laws had to be created because people were being taken advantage of. Because people wouldn't be disclosing things they should be disclosing. Like, for instance, if we were gifted a game for free, if we were gifted No Man's Sky for free and we reviewed it based on that review copy on our YouTube, we must disclose in the description and probably at the start of the video if we're really being right about this and not even sure moral about this. You should disclose at the very beginning that I received this game for free from Hello Games. If that affects your outlook on my opinion on this game, so be it. I'm just disclosing this information to you, right?
It's just
so
like a generosity
because of
almost.
that, Trevor Martin should have disclosed in the summary on his video, let alone that. He should have disclosed in the video itself, but he should have at least put in the description that he was benefiting by pushing CSGO Lotto. Now, later on, thanks to a certain user called Honor the Call, did really great investigative work on this whole issue, and he found out that not only are Trevor Martin and Thomas Castle benefiting from the site, they own the sites.
That's crazy.
They own CSGO Lotto.
This is
They are the president and vice president of the site. Now, if that doesn't immediately, isn't apparent to you immediately, let me explain. So, not only was this guy going on like, oh, I found this site, and I followed them on Twitter, you guys should check it out, clearly trying to deceive people. Not only that, he owns the site, and so therefore has access to the back end of the site. He has access to the coding. Now, this doesn't mean we don't have any proof of this. Nobody has proof of this, but there is potential that he was duping people. He had access, and he could have been rigging all of these gambles, bringing people in and making thousands and thousands of dollars off of fake bets. Or he could have been having other people make videos for him with rigged battles to advertise the site, and it's starting to come out now thanks to another user called Psy Syndicate, who's admitting that he had taken actual skins as monetary value in I don't know, as monetary value for putting videos together. So it's starting to become apparent that it's not just these two guys. There's like a whole YouTube ring of people that are taking advantage of people and bringing them into these sites to gamble on games.
So dirty.
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wild. Now, that's only the beginning of it, though. Here's where it gets even worse. Are you ready for this, Greg? Did you know about any of this?
I knew some of the story because you sent us the article or the link to it when it was like first starting, but I didn't know the extent of how far it went. That's crazy.
Okay, so here's where it gets even worse, all right? When you join CSGO Lotto, right, it has like one of those like porn type things where you have to click a checkbox that says, I'm 18 years or older.
Okay.
Now, online gambling is kind of this funny thing where it's still in motion. We don't know for sure, like, if you should be 18 or older, 21 or older. But all it is a checkbox, right?
Yeah. So
now,
anyway.
the site is connected to the API for CSGO. Right. That's how they get access to the skins and all that kind of stuff. So by connecting to CSGO Lotto, they then have to connect to Valve. Now, when you connect to Valve and CSGO, instead of an 18 years or older disclaimer, it's 13 or older. You only need to be 13 years old to gain access. So because of that, 13-year-old kids are gambling potentially thousands of dollars.
What? How is this legal?
It's not legal, Greg. It is not legal.
God.
It's a gray area in a legal standpoint and a moral standpoint. But
13-year-olds with like their parents' money potentially, who have their parents' credit cards, or even like, God forbid, they have like saved up birthday money and then they're getting robbed.
Now,
oh my God.
let's keep going with this now.
It gets worse.
So these guys are obviously being slaughtered now. And so people were waiting for their reactions, like their videos. This one here, the one that just came up on screen, timed perfectly. This was the first panicked reaction from T. Martin, where he put together this 7-minute thing where he's walking around his mansion, of course.
Typical.
Showing off all his money and his stuff, and pretty much saying that I've done nothing wrong. Everything is disclosed in the videos. And the reason it was disclosed is right before making this video, he went into every single CSGO Lotto video and started changing the description to try and incorporate that. But thanks to sites like the Wayback Machine, people were very easily able to see that the guy changed the description.
Oh my God.
As soon as he could, once he realized that he was in deep shit. So about not even a day after he makes this video, it's taken offline, right? He deletes it.
This is crazy.
And then everybody's like, okay, what comes next? Where's his next video? Meanwhile, Pro Syndicate, completely silent. And probably for good reasons. He probably has his lawyers like, shut your mouth, dude. Just don't say anything. Let us deal with this. T. Martin, on the other hand, clearly doesn't know when to put his foot in his mouth.
Oh my God.
Or actually does know how to put his foot in his mouth, going by these videos. So then he comes out with an I'm sorry video. And I actually want to play this one for you guys. I want to play this one for you guys
I feel
with
like
volume.
I'm watching an episode of 60 Minutes. Like, this is fucking crazy.
All right. Well, I'm going to fast forward here. Check out this video, the I'm sorry video. I'm going to put this up on the big screen for you guys.
He recently took down his reply video, too.
I have no idea how I'm going to record this video, dude.
Clever. Start off with the sympathy vote. Try and get the dog in there.
All right, guys. So I'm going to try to make this as short and sweet as possible. I don't want to take up too much of your time. But first and foremost, I do want to say that I love you guys. You guys seriously mean the world to me. You have for the past 6 years that I've been on YouTube, and you honestly have changed my life. Like every single day, I get to wake up and chase my dreams and follow my passions, and that's all been made possible by you guys. So thank you guys for everything that you've done for me and all the opportunities and memories that you've allowed me to create. Now, my connection to CSGO Lotto has been a matter of public record since the company was first organized in December of 2015.
Yeah, if you're a guy dug deeply
for it. I
for
feel like I owe you guys an apology. I am sorry to each and every one of you who felt like that was not made clear enough to you. And I truly, honestly hope that you guys give me an opportunity to earn your trust back. Please also know that I am committed to making sure that my YouTube channel as well as all of my other businesses are in compliance with the law. This is why I do not condone minors under the age of 18 to use CSGO Lotto. This is and always has been a clearly stated policy available both in the terms of service as well as the initial sign-up page on the website. I've seen a lot of people focusing on the under the age of 13 section of our privacy policy. All this section states is that we do not knowingly record information of children under the age of 13 years old in compliance with the COPPA Act. This has nothing to do with and does not mean that we condone minors under the age of 18 to play on the site. Also, and this is very important to me, I believe that every game offered on CSGO Lotto has been legitimate, and I am committed to making sure that that remains true. Again, you guys seriously mean the world to me. Like, you've changed my life in so many ways. I'll never be able to thank you for what you all have done. Thank you guys so much for all the support over the years, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. So thank you guys for watching. I truly do appreciate it. I look forward to getting back to my regularly scheduled content, and I hope to see you guys there. Thank you.
All right. So I have a few things I want to bring up first here.
I hated that.
All right. Now, first up, he never apologized.
Not once.
He very carefully worded the way he apologized. Did you notice what he said? I'm sorry to anybody who couldn't realize.
He kind of backhanded apologized to people.
He pretty much was saying that you're too dumb to realize
like,
that it was in the description, which it wasn't. It was a part of public record. Public record. Somebody had to like do some hardcore digging to find the documents that list you as the vice president. It's not like this was readily available thing. Nobody knew about this until a guy, Honor the Call, did some really crazy investigative work, like hardcore investigative work to find this out. And then he tries to cover it up by putting information in the description of all his videos as quickly as he could to cover it.
That's dirty. This is
and
so
to start
dirty.
off, I can't, like the way that he started the video with the dog,
yeah,
and then the heavy breath, how he does the big sigh at the beginning.
It's almost like, let me plead and beg for this fucking apology, which I'm not even going to give you guys to accept and grant. That's why I was turned off by the videos. Well, that's what he said to people. He's kind of like, sorry, you guys can't fucking read, but I tried to tell you.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm like, that's so fucking dirty. Like, you should have just been like, I'm sorry. Like, if anybody misheard me or mistook me for what I was saying, I made a mistake. I genuinely didn't know about this. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And it should have been genuine if we mean that much to you. Like, go suck on my balls. That's so dirty and fake.
And the way he's like with the 18 years or older thing, just to make it clear, we do not condone. If you don't condone, then why don't you make it a part of your website that you can't access it unless you were 18 years or older?
Yeah, that's the thing that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, all you do is hit a checkbox, and then all you gotta do is go to the Valve's website and be 13 years or older?
Yeah, that's the part that doesn't make sense to me. It's like everyone's getting on him for specifically saying that, and yet he's like, oh, we're committed to making sure that that's not a thing still. But like that function, obviously it's still said. He highlighted it in his video that that's still a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and then
lastly,
the thing that really stood out to me, I like that he says, I don't believe that any of the sessions, the gambling sessions, were fraudulent. Like, why would you say I don't believe, as if you don't know?
Well, that's the thing, too, is, like, you would have to assume, like, he hasn't talked to anybody about this and he's just going about this on his own because he sounds retarded, like, to the point where it's almost like...
That's the thing, though. He sounds retarded, but it looks like he's reading it off a teleprompter.
Like... that's the thing, is it sounded very like he must have wrote it out, but I don't think this was like advice from like a lawyer or anybody.
If it was, he needs to get a new lawyer.
Exactly, yeah. This was definitely him like writing a speech, writing it down, and then speaking it to everybody. I just couldn't believe the fucking way it started off with him holding the dog's paws. in your mansion, nonetheless, is where you're recording the video. Like, I'm just over that. That made
Now,
me
now
physically
where I want to bring this. Let me see if I missed anything. First of all, he also took down that video. By the way, he took down the "I'm sorry" video a day later.
Oh, he
disabled comments on it, and then took it down.
Oh my god.
So we're still waiting on what comes next from this guy.
He hasn't posted any of his regular scheduled stuff, right? Like his video game stuff.
Now there's a guy online. He goes by Video Game Attorney, and he actually is an attorney that specializes in like esports and stuff like that.
Oh,
and he's been talking about this whole situation and how he has predicted for over like a year now that this bubble was going to burst.
Yeah.
And that this was gonna happen. And he said he's been waiting for it because he's known how shady this is, and he's just waiting for it to come out. And now he's saying like he doesn't think these guys are just going to have like a slap on the wrist. He thinks the book is going to be thrown at them.
That's
Like he thinks they're getting jail time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think they deserve it.
100%, I think they deserve it. But like, do you really think they'll get jail time for it?
No, I don't.
I don't think they'll get jail
That's
time.
what's
I feel like
sucky.
it'll be like
I think
a
they
bailout
deserve
kind
jail
of a
time. I
thing.
really do think they deserve jail time, especially if more information can come out confirming that they had rigged these battles.
the
If they
whole-
can confirm that,
Yeah,
they
that's-
just 100% deserve jail time.
That's the dirtiest part, is that like unbeknownst to everybody else, like they set this up too. Like
Yeah.
it's not like they were just doing like fraudulent shit. Like they deliberately knew they were doing the fraudulent
Yep.
shit too. Oh my god, it's just so dirty.
I wish I could bring up the video quickly where he talks. He does like the CSGO lottery video where he's like, I found these guys for the first time and I followed them on Twitter. It's like knowing now that he owns the site, watching that video, it's like you cringe at how bad it is. Like
Wow.
just unbelievable. Now, so they might have the book thrown at them. We'll have to wait and see. We don't know for sure if they're guilty of certain things, although it's looking bad. It's looking really, really bad.
It's crazy.
Moving on, let's see here if there's anything else I missed. A lot of people are also focusing on Valve. Now, do you think that like Valve should
Valve
be taking any
shouldn't be.
responsibility for this?
No,
Because they
Valve-
are being sued. Valve is being sued for allowing this gambling ring to happen. Really, like they have to allow access to their API for any of this to happen. So they are technically condoning this economy, this like kind of black market that's created. They didn't create it themselves, but they could easily shut it down if they wanted to.
Are they profitable off of it as well? Like, do they get a percentage?
Yes, they are. Yes.
Oh, so then yeah, I would hold them.
They're making a lot of money off this. So Valve was sued, and now T-Mart and Pro Syndicate have been included in that lawsuit. I think it's a class action lawsuit.
Yeah, but you have to realize too, like especially with all the money that they make, I feel like all three of them are just gonna pay off whatever the fuck they need to, and then that'll be the end of this.
Right. And Mike says in the chat, him saying, I don't believe, as a way for them to avoid specifically lying by saying they didn't have, I couldn't read the whole thing. But yeah, I agree that was kind of like lawyer talk there.
Yeah,
But
he
it just,
said
like,
to avoid
that- it
specifically
rubs me
lying
the
by
wrong
saying
way.
They didn't have any rigging being done. Obviously they had to have. That's just so dirty. The whole thing rubs me the wrong way. That apology video, I'm so happy that you showed that, because that just turned me from like 0 to 100 on the matter. Like you got me to like 100, and now I'm at like 150 of like anger level, just because like there's such young kids that got taken advantage of. Like I'm just thinking about like my little brother.
Potentially, yeah.
Like, that would have like emptied his savings account into these people that like he idolizes on YouTube. Like that's ridiculous. Like, oh my god. Jail
As Yadio
time.
said, CSGO skin trading is a $2.3 billion industry.
That's ridiculous. And
Like,
he's
that's
literally
ridiculous
the
that this can
owner.
happen this quickly with a game.
But like you said though, like that's the scarier part to it all, is that this could be happening like in multiple different ways. It's
Yep.
a matter of like now this is being brought to like the light of day. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no real laws or restrictions that it sounds fucked up, but like you said, there's not one law in place that's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is illegal, you can't be doing this.
Like I said, Psy Syndicate, not Pro Syndicate, another guy named Psy Syndicate was the one who kind of whistleblowed by admitting that he had taken skins as monetary value for doing videos. But he said that he had been approached by several websites to do it. So what happens is like these CSGO lottery websites, they come to a guy and they're like, you put together a video of you doing a gamble, but you'll do the gamble with us and we'll rig it so that you win thousands of dollars. And then we'll allow you to keep that money for putting together the video.
God.
Now he said that he had been approached several times to do this, and at first he said he responded back saying like, no, you don't have to rig it. Like, why don't we just do the gamble for real? I'll still make the video. And they came back and said, no, we want it to be rigged.
That's legit like having somebody walk up to a blackjack table as you're playing a game and the dealer and him knowing each other. That's so fucking dirty. That's so dirty.
But the way he was talking, like he was implying that there's a lot of websites involved in this, and there's also a lot of YouTube guys involved in this that have not been brought into it yet. Well, they're out there though, and the Psy Syndicate is trying to be like the traitor, I guess. He's like, I'm gonna whistleblow all the other guys, and maybe I'll be able to get like a pardon on this.
Well, that's the thing that
pretty
really
much
terrifies me about this is like this is only one website that's been brought into the light now of the whole situation. Like, how many other websites? There has to be millions of other ones that fucking take advantage of this and benefit profitably wise. I'm just imagining all these little kids with either their parents' money or their own money. There are so many children now in this generation growing up that are obsessed with these YouTubers. Obviously, look at these kids. They're fucking millionaires. How many kids watch them? And, like, the fact that they would condone or even be a part of that to make more money off of these people that are supporting you and giving you the money that you have, like, how greedy could you fucking be? Like, that's so dirty.
Yadio says, what's even worse is that Valve, their excuse is the skins have no monetary value. I agree, because that's the thing. Of course it has no monetary value at the beginning. None of these things do. No. They are prescribed a monetary value by the users.
Yeah.
It's going to happen no matter what. And that's the thing is like, how do we correct this? Like digital trading and digital sales and whatnot, the reselling of that, like how do you control it? Like this is really the Wild West still in a lot of ways.
That's the reason why I don't know if Valve could be held accountable. Like, yeah, they give access to their website in order to get past that little barrier for like all these kids to get through and be able to gamble and shit like that. But like how is there without like facial recognition or like prove your birthday by sending in a copy of your birth certificate? Like, was Valve really wrong to do this? Like,
yeah.
It's crazy. Like, you can't prove, like you said, like if you go to a porn website and you click, yeah, I'm 18 years of age. Meanwhile, you could be 15 years old. You can get access to every fucking porn website you want. It's just ridiculous.
Sauce Master brings up another guy named FaZe Rug who did it and admitted it was rigged. What was so funny about that guy is when T. Martin was posting on Twitter about like how today was like a educational experience for him. FaZe Rug, another guy that's pretty much been confirmed now to be involved in this whole thing, is the first response saying, "Don't worry about it, man. You're a good guy. I know you're a good guy." Like, so clearly, these guys are probably in cahoots as well.
Oh my god, you would have
like,
to imagine
they all are. I bet you there's probably dozens and dozens of these YouTube guys all doing this together, all taking part, all like making videos to promote. Like it, I can't imagine. Like I really feel like there's this huge thing going on, this huge scandal that we haven't even like scratched the surface of yet.
I feel like the champagne bottle is like getting ready to burst, but the top still hasn't popped. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's all like brewing there, and God only knows what'll happen if like this is so fucking crazy. And it's like you said, like it's YouTube, so like how does one come at this? Like what laws do you have in place for online shit? Whereas this isn't like a pyramid scheme like with Wall Street, but essentially that's what it is.
I mean, that's the whole reason for the creation of the FTC, like the Federal Trade Commission, is that they're trying to create these laws to protect the viewers and the consumers, but they haven't gotten to this level yet. Like this was reported almost immediately to the FTC, and they're looking at it.
But
and they're a part of this whole thing now. So we just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, things are going to have to change. Something needs to change.
You could turn the argument around on its head though and be like, all right, but if these kids are of age in order to lie and rig the system and get past like the 18 or older barrier or whatever, or use that system, like they must be smart enough to know what's really going on. But like not if the websites themselves are owned by these YouTubers and then they're physically rigging it so that they make all the money. That's the worst part, is like you can't even blame these young children for not knowing any better because like it's still rigged and dirty. Like, my God.
And they had to know too. They can act like we don't condone it, but they knew 13-year-olds might be taking part in this, and they knew that they were benefiting thousands of dollars off the backs of these children. And they still did it.
Suck on my balls, because that is like literally I can't believe that sorry video what is his name? T. Martin?
T. Martin, yeah.
That he even put that up. Like,
what a smug son of a bitch,
that's what I think. Like, I'm like, you're like an ignorant prick. Like,
in the I'm sorry video too, did you realize in the background he's got his two like $100,000 cars parked right in visibility of the shot
on his all glass wall?
Yeah,
that surrounds his million.
That's intentional, man. That's 100% intentional, because these guys do that kind of thing because they want to be like, I'm rich.
You're
And
like, I don't
me
need
being
you,
rich
by the way.
means
Yeah.
I must be a good guy, right? Like I couldn't make this much money if I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, and that's
I
what
must be
was
a good guy.
The B-roll footage that you were showing when he's walking around the house and you see his gorgeous ass kitchen, his living room with the fucking 3D flat 80-inch television on the wall. Like, obviously that's all meant to be in the video because, like you said, like, oh wow,
Yeah.
it's kind of like how Donald Trump runs amok now in politics. It's like, oh wow, like he's rich and he's famous, so he must know what he's talking about for the people that support him and like him. That's how I feel.
I think it bothers me. Like, that's the funny thing is when I came into this conversation today, I really was going to try and stay as balanced on this subject as I could. And immediately I was like, nah, throw that shit away.
Well,
I
I'm happy that
hate
you
these
had
guys
me
so
to
much.
this because I didn't know like how deep the roots went. Like I had only scratched the surface of the story. So you explaining it to me and summarizing it to me and the viewers, like I was one of the viewers just now watching that. I feel like you're my Barbara Walters and you totally just cracked this game.
I couldn't stay
It's so dirty.
balanced on this subject because we're content creators. And these guys, T. Martin is 23 years old and he makes $1 million a year off YouTube. He is privileged.
Yep.
You know how few people get to do what he does?
That's my point, and that's where I think we come down on it so heavily and so hard because no matter where we would end up, if we ended up making millions of dollars off of the YouTube subs and ad revenues that we got from all you guys, you would bet your fucking sweet ass that me, Mike, Drew, and Dean would all fucking put a nail in your fucking tire to stop the air from releasing if any of this bullshit ever came and approached us. I would shed light on websites that came up to me and were like, oh, you want to fucking
Let me give you an example of like my moral ground here. Like how far it goes. Like I felt dirty one time. Not dirty, like I feel like that's a strong word. But we had one guy that was watching us, an indie game developer. I'm not going to name who, and there's really nothing wrong with what he did, but still it made me feel dirty, is that he donated $1 to our show, and in doing so he posted a key as well to his game, and he said, please, put this on your YouTube, maybe do a let's play for our channel. But in doing that, I felt so dirty by the fact that I was receiving money in order to promote review a game for this guy. And clearly, if we were to do that, and there's really nothing wrong with it as long as we were to disclose that information, and if we were to put that video together, I would have disclosed that right at the beginning of the video. But the mere fact that it happened, I felt dirty about.
Well, that's exactly where we're coming from, though, is like, God forbid not God forbid, but like if that opportunity does arise where, like, let's say Naughty Dog reaches out to us and they're like, hey, we'll give you $3,000 to play The Last of Us 2 on your channel or whatever. I'm just making up random amounts and random informations, hypothetical situations. But like the beginning of that video, you bet your sweet ass to be like, Naughty Dog paid us in order to promote this on our shit. Like, just so you all know, this is exactly what happened. I would be so transparent with everything that we did, and we've always have been with you guys. And that's what's crazy to me about this is, as content creators, as doing something that we all love and appreciate, like having a community especially that's genuine and wholehearted, and some people that you do get money and support or even the attention from. The fact that you guys watch us every Sunday and all throughout the week with all of our streams and go to our YouTube channel, like the amount of love and support that we have from you guys is something that drives me to keep doing the stuff that we do. I would never in a billion years fucking take advantage of that and steal from you. Like, I
know.
Oh my God, just the thought of it gives me goosebumps.
That's the worst part, man. In the video, the first one with him walking around the house, he goes so far as to say, how could anybody live with themselves if they were to do this? How could anybody keep on living and knowing that they were scamming, 13-year-old kids? Meanwhile, like, it's almost a fact at this point that this guy knew what he was doing, and he's putting on this video, putting on this acting like he hasn't done anything wrong. Like, literally, he acted like he did nothing wrong in that first video, and then in the I'm sorry video, he acts like it's the viewer's fault for not realizing
You can't even call it an I'm fucking sorry video. At this point, he literally made a video with his middle finger up and said, sorry, I'm rich. Sucks to suck, kids. Like, he basically said, you guys are dumb for not reading into the fine politics, and if you did fall for my scam, well, haha. That's basically what he said. And a lot more.
That's why he took it down, man. That's why he took the video down. I want to thank a few people here. We got a lot of follows. Thank you to Anthony, String of Numbers. We also had Sauce Master, Nato Gino. I'm not sure if I said that right. Wubba Lubba Dubba Dub.
Ooh.
I think I said that right. Wait, let me try that again. Wubba Lubba Dub Dub. Thank you for the follow.
I enjoyed that.
Mr. Fish 43, Homo Geeks, Chairman Moldy Lung, Tassu 2015, Stevie MHZ, Angry Hippie, Toofly Guy, Jez133, Undertales, Rio Guevara, and also we had a follow before the show from the Vampire Games. We appreciate every single one of you. Henry DJP in the chat room says, I'm so glad you guys are putting T. Martin on blast. I didn't understand what the apology video was for when I watched it this morning. That's the worst part. Not on you, Henry, because you didn't know what it was all about. But a lot of his YouTube following was like, "Oh, don't worry about it, man. Everybody makes mistakes. It's all good."
Especially like
no, dude. Do you not understand? Like, you might. Granted, that might be a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah.
But like, that's the problem. That is who his audience is. They're 10-year-olds. No. They don't know what he's doing. They don't know any better. They're looking at this video and they're like, "Oh, look at this guy saying I'm sorry," not knowing that he potentially scammed hundreds and hundreds and maybe thousands of people out of thousands of dollars, and some of them 13-year-olds.
Yeah, that's what's crazy to me, especially like you said, immediately right off the bat going for the sympathy vote with the dog, and then like, I wholeheartedly love you guys, and you guys are the thing that got me to where I am. Bull fucking shit. Like, you're literally sitting in your mansion while like the people that are suffering are still suffering, and obviously you're wrong, and you know you're wrong if you're taking down all the videos of you quote unquote apologizing to these people that you just fucked over. Like, that's what's so dirty. And you bet your sweet ass, Dan Henry, whatever I call you, I love you, that we're putting this as the title of this video and hoping that this gets a lot of hits to give more knowledge to fucking people. Oh my god, this is so dirty. I can't believe
Scoozy says about my story earlier, to be fair, there's a difference between a developer paying you to promote a game and what these idiots did. 100% Scoozy. Yeah. There's actually nothing wrong with a developer paying me to promote their game so long as I disclose that information. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That totally abides by FTC regulations. What these guys did not only doesn't abide by FTC regulations, it might just be flat out breaking the law in general, like multiple laws.
Yeah, Rick makes a good point in the chat room. He said the most disappointing thing is that these guys aren't the worst thing on YouTube. There are bullies who make people think about killing themselves and legitimately ruin their lives, yet have millions of followers, and they get away with this stuff because it's the internet. Which is
you might be talking about Keemstar. Are you talking about Keemstar, GFN? Because there's a guy named Keemstar who has, I want to say, 3 million subscribers that tried to prove that a certain streamer was a pedophile when he was not.
Oh my god. Why?
And pretty much ruined this guy's life.
This is why I don't, for the most part, take part on the internet. I get what I need from the internet and I get the hell out of it.
His channel is called Drama Alert, and he creates drama to get views.
What?
The scum of the internet.
It's like Perez Hilton.
It pretty much is.
Oh my god, that makes me sick. I just don't get how people live their lives off of, like, harping off of others. Like, I would never want that. And then you live on a daily basis happily. Like, oh my god, that's just so dirty.
There's like this, it's crazy, like, because I don't really involve myself in it, but there's like this weird YouTube dichotomy going on. Like these people like know each other, you know, and they talk with each other, and they have like battles, and they get really emotional with each other, and like it's just like this whole thing that people involve themselves in, where like Drama Alert puts these videos together, like today this person put this other person on blast, and like kind of like you would see on TV for like Access Hollywood, you know, garbage or whatever. You know, like shit that I don't care about when it's Hollywood, and I certainly don't give a shit about when it's YouTube.
It's like it's like YouTube WWE. Like it's
just
crazy.
Like it blows my mind.
Like you know it's a show, but it's like people watch it almost like reality television, get invested, get involved. Except through this reality show, like they could fuck you over too. And it's to a point now where that's what's scary about YouTube and like getting a lot of followers and getting a lot of attention, is because they have so much influence over such a younger audience that Rick is 100% right. Like the younger minds are so much more corruptible, and now they're getting media and content so much quicker by going to YouTube and searching online videos, searching online content, that you can affect and change someone's growing up and their experience in life and what they appreciate and what they like and what they adore, because these 23-year-old video gamers are these kids' idols. Like, I know my little brother, for example, watches a bunch of streamers on YouTube, like listens to podcasts and stuff about people just talking about stuff that he enjoys too. And he worships these people. And I'm like, what? Like, that's crazy to me, like how that could be possible. I mean, yes, like we do a show where, yes, we benefit by people. Not, I don't want to say idolize us. I hope nobody idolizes me because I'm not one to idolize. But like, I hope that we at least make somewhat of a positive impact on the people that watch our show and do stuff like that. That's all I ever want to do. And the people that like Like, I just can't believe that you just said that sentence. Is that kid has 3 million followers, and his YouTube channel is called Drama Alert, where he literally just talks about drama.
Yep.
What?
Really shouldn't surprise me, but it does.
That's the
To
thing,
close
is that
off
it does
this,
still.
what I want to say is to you people, our viewers, our level uppers, you can rely on us to never deceive you.
Oh, never.
Especially not intentionally.
No. 100%.
Like, we will always try to be as transparent as possible with you when it comes to where your money is going.
Yep.
As clearly stated at the bottom of the screen, the final desktop computer parts. And we clearly stated yesterday when we went through all the parts that we needed. Like, we will always do that. We will always do our very best to be as clear about all of our business activities, if you want to call it that. Because, like, this is just messed up.
I feel dirty, like you're, like, I legitimately just feel dirty talking about this. Like, this story, like, the story skeeved me out, like, discussing it with you, because I can't, there are so many things that happen in the world, murder, rape, blah, 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 like, everything that happens, the list goes on. It's so skeevy and it's so dirty, but there's something especially so dirty about this, especially when it's a situation where it's taking advantage of younger people and minds that, you know, are exposed to all of this stuff and can totally be, like gutted out, and just, like, almost, it's like molestation, but over the internet. Yeah. Like, it's just dirty.
I think that's where we should call it. We're almost at 12:30, the end of our show here. So let's go through all of our thank yous, of course.
Yes.
Starting off with our most recent 6 activities that happened.
Big props to Drew, by the way, for bringing light to that story. I just want to point that out. You totally, like, made that topic of the week, and I'm glad that you did. I'm happy we got to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad we talked about it. I thought it was important that we shared that with the people who didn't know about it already.
You're a good person, Drew.
Thank you. Thank you to these follows. We had Anthony. We also had Sauce Master, Natogino, Wubba Lubba Dub Dub, Mr. Fish, and Homo Geeks. I got it that time perfectly.
Woo!
That was perfect. And also we want to move on to our special thanks.
Boop boop be do.
Oh, sorry. Let me go down to the other screen here instead of full screen. All right, our special thanks.
Cooper, I have
no, that's that's the apology video. No, we're definitely not thanking that guy.
I loved that.
Special thanks go out to our top donators. We had GameKiller305, Ebenezer Giza, Henry DJP, Tobes29340, Mahogany327, YT Gamers, Johnny Poolside, Tyspin, Your Average Psych, who donated another $50 tonight, and DragonCon, our top donator at $400. We also have our subscribers, the 9 Fox, Greg Verga, Johnny Poolside, DeLone Gunman, Bass023S, Tobes29340, The Tack, GameKiller305, Your Average Psych, Guitar Freak 12345, Tyspin, YT Gamers, Girl at Games, Kelly Jellyfish, Abtist, KP 2.0, Hids, NextGen99, and Muto Crystallis. And our patrons, Puzzful Scab, Tyspin, BMC Music, TX Puck, DragonCon, Mark Conklin, Alex Bustos 98, Lionhammer, Guitar Freak 12345, Baz023S, Tobes29340, Ginkgo Swag, Dan Piush, Temp Moriendi, Kelly Jellyfish, Chris Taylor, Girl at Games, Derek Sunday, Muto Crystallis, NextGen99, and finally, our moderators. They are Johnny Poolside, the 9 Fox, TX Puck, GFN 2112, Ghost Games, and Guitar Freak 12345. Man, the list just keeps getting longer and longer.
One day, guys, I'm gonna be honest, there's gonna come a time where I don't think Drew can physically read off everything. I hope we get to that level of fame, but, like, I do not envy you, Drew, for reading off that list one day.
Now, before we wrap up, too, I want to try and go through all of our donators and give them some XP. So first up, I know that Hids gave us 50. So that is 1250 XP to you.
Oh.
We had Your Average Psych. That was today. He donated $50.
That's amazing. You guys are the best.
So let's give him 1250 XP. Oh, let's see who else donated 50. I'm gonna have to go back into the into Stream Pro here. Hold on a sec. All right. So we had Your Average Psych, Mr. Rager today donated $10.
Wasn't there somebody that donated 23? You said.
Yep. So that's
Tobes. You said.
Tobes, yeah. Or no, Tobes did as well. But first I gotta do Mr. Rager.
Oh, sorry.
Who I don't think is online anymore, so I gotta search him out. There he is. So that's 25 times 10. That's 250. This could take a little while here, but we're gonna do it. We got it.
We have to.
Tobes donated 23. What's 23 times 25, Greg?
Let me get my calculator out.
Please do. Tobes, thank you for your donation of $23. We appreciate
575
you.
XP.
What was that?
575.
575 XP for Tobes. Chris MX was the other one who donated 50. So Chris MX, you get 1250 XP. Oh my god. This is exhausting.
By the
It's
way,
worth
guys,
it.
the
You guys
reason why I was
deserve it.
making those grunt noises was because I wanted to feel Drew's pain of having to read off all the names, and just me grunting, not reading out full names, was just as stressful and strenuous.
We had NextGen99 who donated $10. Thank you so much. Here's 250 XP to you. Two for you, Glen Coco.
Good for
We
you,
had,
Black Coco.
Miss Mel, who donated a total of 7 plus 15 plus 10. So that's $32 times 25. What's 32 times 25, Greg?
I'm doing it.
32 times 25
800.
is
800.
800 XP to you, Miss Mel. Thank you so much. You are amazing.
Thank
Did I
God
type that
I'm
right?
here
I
for
hope
this
so.
part too, Drew. Now that I'm
Kelly Jellyfish donated $41. What's 41 times 25?
I'm on it.
On it.
1,025.
1,025 to you, Kelly Jellyfish.
Good for you, Kelly
1,025.
Jellyfish.
And we had... am I missing any? Yes, we missed Johnny and Derek. Johnny did 20, which is 20 times 25, which is 500 XP to you, Johnny. Hold on a sec here.
Drew, what are you, an architect or an accountant? Come on now.
Maybe I should have been doing these scams, clearly.
By the way, everybody go to csgolotto.com after this.
And last but not least, we got 14 times 25, Greg,
On it.
for 9 Fox.
350.
350 XP to you, 9 Fox. And I think I got everyone. I hope I did. I'm sorry if I missed you. I tried my
If
very
we
best
missed you,
here.
just yell at Drew in all caps.
Yes, please do.
Yes.
All right, that is going to be it for us tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all the follows. We got 12, or actually we got 13 follows today. That's a great result for this show. We
We
got
also got above 92 people in the room at one point.
92 people in
Awesome.
the room. We got $83 in donations. We got to our donation goal of $300. The desktop computer is happening. We are ordering the parts. We will build it live here on twitch.tv/Level Up Show. Just keep an eye on our Twitter at the Level Up Network, Level spelled LVL. We'll let you know when that is coming. It'll probably be a Saturday in the near future. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you to all of our patrons, our subs. Go to YouTube, please, guys. We will archive everything. We got a Let's Play on Playdead's Inside going up this Tuesday. We got a rerun of this show tomorrow night during WWE Raw because Dustin will be doing his sign to try and promote us. That's a really cool cause. Let's see. Wednesday might be Dean if he can get his computer fixed and all that. You guys get it. It's on our schedule. Check it out. We'll see you throughout the week. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care. And as always, don't forget to level up.
Woo! Love you all equally.
Thank you, DragonCon, who said great show.
Everyone was very happy with the topic, and so was I. Great job on that, Drew.
Thank you.
It's like you make the show or something.
See you, Buddy Doze. Glad that you're enjoying the show so much, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
La da 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 do. Da da dee do. Self high five.
I just
So long, guys. Take
Love you
care.
all.
Level up. Hey, Level Uppers. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you want to check out our other content, please do.
Like your favorite superhero podcast, Power Up, right here.
Or for everything PlayStation. It only does PlayStation right there.
For movies, television, and Netflix, check out the Lights Up Show down this way.
And for the latest episode of our gaming talk show, The Level Up Show, go right there. But most importantly, please don't forget to subscribe right there.
Nailed it.
We did it.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was good.
Which one do you think they'll click on?
I think Level Up Show,
Probably.
obviously.
Hopefully, all of
It
them.
only does PlayStation.
I would like if they watched them all, I think.
That would be
Lights
cool.
Up is new, though. I think they should definitely check that out.
Lights Up's a new one. Power Up's always a
Running
new
about
one.
7-8 seconds now.
Yeah.
We're
Well, you think they've clicked on something?
we're still here, so no.
I think they should.
We should
Did you
give
click
him a little
on,
bit
Did you
more.
click on something?
Click on something, guys.
We need to go.
The hell are you?
I'm gonna give it
waiting
3
for?
seconds.
Watch
We have
all
things
of
to
that.
do.
Three,
Just click
Stare him
Two.
down. Stare him down until they do it.
1.
Ah!